Check. Check.
20 seconds ഉണ്ടാകുണ്ടോ? ചെറിയൊരു എക്കോ ഉണ്ടല്ലേ? എക്കോ അല്ല, അതെനിക്ക് ഡയറക്റ്റ് സൗണ്ട് കിട്ടും.
Very pleasant morning to everyone gathered here for this remarkable event, blending academia to the emerging ecosystem, Thiruvananthapuram at 2030. I am Antonia.
And I am Nathan, first year UG students from the Department of Logistics and Supply Chain Management. We are truly honored to welcome each one of you to this knowledge-driven journey. Today, we bring together visionary leaders, academicians, industry experts, and aspiring learners to explore how Thiruvananthapuram is shaping itself as a vibrant ecosystem for the future. We have with us Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies, Professor A. Biju Kumar, known for his expertise in marine science, biodiversity, and climate change. He will be joining us online since he could not be present here physically due to some inconveniences.
Next, we have Mr. S.N. Raghunathan Nair, the President of Trivandrum Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He is a prominent figure in Kerala's business community, known for his leadership and the President of the TCCI and his extensive experience in the real estate and construction sector. Along with them, we are also privileged to have Dr. Jaishankar Prasad C., Director of the Center for Management Development, known for his intensive experience in organization, leadership, and project management, a blend of technical and management expertise, and a background of holding senior roles in both government and private sector. We will also have a very insightful session by Mr. Anthony Thomas and Dr. Joshi Joseph as well. We ensure you all a day filled with insights, inspiration, and impactful conversation.
To begin this auspicious gathering, let us invoke the blessings of the Almighty. I invite Manasa Ramesh, first year psychology student, for the invocation. I will request everyone to rise.
Light of the world, you send down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that makes the heart adore you. Hope of the life spent with you. Now here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my Lord. You're altogether worthy, altogether lovely, altogether wonderful to me. I never know how much it costs to see my sins upon that cross. Now here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my Lord. You're altogether worthy, altogether lovely, altogether wonderful to me.
Thank you. Please be seated. To officially open today's event, we invite Professor Gabriel Simon Thattil, Academic Director, Loyola College of Social Sciences, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, one and all. The president of this function, principal of our college, Reverend Father Sabu Thomas, the distinguished guest of the day, and my dear friend, Professor Biju Kumar, who is Honorable Vice Chancellor of KUFOS, Mr. Raghunathan Nair, who is the President of Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Jaishankar Prasad, the Director of CMD, Mr. Anthony, who is also the President of our own Alumni Association. We have with us other distinguished faculty members. We have Professor Saji, who is also the Autonomy Director, the Vice Principals, faculty members, faculty from other colleges, students, researchers, parents who have joined, all those who are with us physically and those who are online also, as this is being live streamed. Very good morning to one and all, and happy to be with you on this session where we are trying to look at a blending between academia and the ecosystem, Thiruvananthapuram at 2030. So from the title, it's quite clear that we are looking at the emerging Thiruvananthapuram. And the context is, as you all know from the papers, every day you see something new. Just 2 days back, we were talking about the green hydrogen hub coming up at Thiruvananthapuram. Then just 2 days before, we saw in the news the details about craters which are getting geo-mapped with places in Thiruvananthapuram and the Maas. And in that list we found Vellamala, Tumba, Varkala, Periyar, etc. And if you look at logistics, a host of things happening in and around Thiruvananthapuram, just in terms of what the Vizhinjam port is putting in place, logistics, supply chain, the sectors like hospitality, hotel, trade malls, convention centers, the upcoming metro, so on and so forth. So it's high time that we know, we learn, we understand, we transform. So the idea behind this whole program is to create something like concept to context linkage. I was just talking about this 2 days back at Manania College, when the commerce students were trying to look at how to have skill-based learning. The whole idea is look at your concept, relate it to what is happening outside, enable yourself, empower yourself, and that's how you make your being actually. So that's what we are trying to look at, and we have very prominent experts lined up with us to talk about this. So I'm directly venturing into my task of proposing the welcome. We are rather fortunate to have the Honorable Vice Chancellor of KUFOS, Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies, Professor Biju Kumar, with us. Though initially we thought he will be with us in the physical form, but because of being preoccupied at Cochin, he has joined online. A very close friend of mine, because we were working together for years at Kerala University, be it with IQAC, be it with the consultancy cell, be it with the CSS office, we were together. And even in some of the programs outside, I still recollect our association when we were together in the Agriculture and Veterinary University in Trichur for a same program. So he was very kind enough to accept our invitation, and also there is some contextual relationship here also, because fisheries, ocean studies, the blue economy, and the Vizhinjam port. In University of Kerala, we have designed a program called MCOM in Maritime Law and Blue Economy. That was during my tenure. And at that point of time, there was a lot of proposals in terms of looking at how science can merge with social science. And Professor Biju was talking about the aquatic biology concerns which are coming up, including that along with the logistics in terms of the blue economy. So he is with us, and all of us have seen the amount of research that he has been doing, whether it is in terms of blue whales, in terms of marine products. He's not just an academician in the department. He's an academician who is doing research on marine sciences in the ocean. So very frequently in the ocean, doing his deep research, deep diving into realities in marine sciences. So he is with us. Now he is into administration. On behalf of Loyola College of Social Sciences, on behalf of the entire community here, the parents, students, learners, all of them who are assembled here, and obviously on my personal behalf, I extend to Professor Biju Kumar a very, very warm welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And we have with us Professor Raghujandran Nair, again a person who's known to me for a long time, because he was associating with our academic programs at the department. I still remember his session where he addressed the students of the Masters of Commerce, talking about the Vizhinjam port, even before it materialized, talking about the mothership, which was to come at that point of time and subsequently did come, as he said, with a large number of containers getting unloaded there, and the transshipment that is happening. Currently, he is the president of the Chamber of Commerce, also associated with almost all the developmental initiatives which are coming up in Thiruvananthapuram. And I was rather fortunate to have him in a session where I was honored as the president of the Indian Accounting Association, because he was the guest of honor at that point of time. So on behalf of Loyola College, I extend to him a very, very warm welcome. Dr. Jay Shankar Prasad, again, he did his PhD in our own department when I was with University of Kerala. He has got a lot of credentials in terms of what you call incubation startup, because currently he is the director of Center for Management Development. Before that, he has served as the CEO of Startup Mission. He has also been at the helm of affairs of INCL, and also for some time with DC School of Management Studies. So into academics with his doctoral program, into Startup Mission, and now into training for CMD. So that is Dr. Jayashankar Prasad, who will be talking to us again on the same theme. I extend to Dr. Jayashankar a very, very warm welcome. We have with us our own alumni president, and Mr. Anthony Thomas, who is a person who is very closely associated with almost all the developmental initiatives in and around Thiruvananthapuram, also with Rotary and the Kerala Management Association. So he'll be sharing his experience. I extend a warm welcome to him also. And as part of our career session, we have in the subsequent session, we have a career session by a senior scientist from NIST who will be joining us. Now this entire meeting, coming to our own home part, is being presided over by our own principal, who has not just been a guiding force, a leader, a guide, a mentor for Loyola College, Reverend Dr. Sabu Thomas, who is our principal. He is presiding over this meeting. I wanted to put the guest and the host in two parts. So though the president, on behalf of all of us here, on the entire Loyola team and the organizing team, I extend a warm welcome to Father Sabu Thomas. I take this opportunity also to welcome Dr. Saji, who is the autonomy director, Angelo and all the other faculty members. We have Smita Jose, who is coordinating this event. All the faculty members from we have Dr. Suresh, who is from the CET. We have Nimmi Dev from Government College. Also number of other teachers, scholars, and students from different colleges. We have some school teachers, a couple of students from the higher secondary sector, and obviously all the students of commerce, students in logistics supply chain, students in fintech, who are all here. So I would request you all to keep your ears and eyes open to all that is happening here. Understand from these leaders, this thought that they are going to share, what is going to be your action? How are you going to connect in terms of what you learn? Try to see the emerging openings that are coming up. Try to understand from them what is going to be the future of Thiruvananthapuram, of Kerala, before you look beyond that. So try to look at the near before you ponder on the far. So I welcome all the students, welcome all the parents, all those who have joined online, and also all those who would be viewing this in future. A very warm welcome to all of you, and let us see how we can enrich ourselves in this particular session. With these warm words of welcome, allow me to conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that warm and inspiring welcome. We now invite Father Dr. Sabu P. Thomas, SJ, Principal, Loyola College of Social Sciences, to deliver the presidential address.
Honorable Vice Chancellor of KUFOS, Professor A. Bijukumar, Mr. S.N. Raghujandran Nair, President of Trivandrum Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Jayashankar Prasad, Director of Center for Management Development, our Alumni President, Mr. Anthony Thomas, our Autonomy Director, Dr. Saji P. Jacob, our Academic Director, Dr. Simon Thattil, my dear faculty members, research scholars, and dear students, invited guests. നമ്മൾ നാളത്തെ നമ്മുടെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ എങ്ങനെ ആയിരിക്കണം എന്നുള്ളതിനെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള ഒരു വിചിന്തനത്തിലാണ് ഇന്ന് നാം ഇവിടെ ആയിരിക്കുക. ഒരു വിദ്യാഭ്യാസ സ്ഥാപനം എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ നാളത്തെ തലമുറയെ വാർത്തെടുക്കാൻ ഒരുങ്ങുന്ന ലയോളയെ പോലെയുള്ള മറ്റു സ്ഥാപനങ്ങളിൽ നിന്നുള്ളവരും നാളെ എങ്ങനെയുള്ള സമൂഹത്തിൽ പ്രവർത്തിക്കേണ്ടവരാവണം, അങ്ങനെയുള്ളവരെയാണ് വാർത്തെടുക്കേണ്ടത് എന്ന് ചിന്തിക്കുവാനുള്ള ഒരു അവസരം. നമുക്കറിയാം, നാം ഒരുപക്ഷെ ഞങ്ങൾ മുതിർന്ന തലമുറ വളർന്നു വന്ന സാഹചര്യങ്ങളിൽ നിന്നും അതിവേഗം മാറിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സമൂഹത്തിലാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ ഇന്ന് ജീവിക്കുന്നത്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ തലമുറ മാറിയതിലും കൂടുതൽ വലിയ മാറ്റം ഒരുപക്ഷെ ഇന്നത്തെ നമ്മൾ ഈ പറയുന്ന ജെൻസി തലമുറയായ നിങ്ങൾ കാണുന്നുണ്ട്. ഒരുപക്ഷെ ഞങ്ങളുടെ തലമുറ ഇമാജിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നതിലും അപ്പുറം. ഇനി വരുന്ന തലമുറ ഒരുപക്ഷെ അതിലും വലിയ മാറ്റത്തിന് സാക്ഷിയാവാൻ പോവുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെയുള്ളൊരു സമൂഹത്തിൽ ജീവിക്കേണ്ട നാം, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള സമൂഹത്തിലേക്ക് ഒരുക്കുന്ന വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിലൂടെ ഒരുങ്ങുന്ന നാം എങ്ങനെയുള്ള സമൂഹത്തെ മുന്നിൽ കണ്ടുകൊണ്ട് വേണം, എങ്ങനെയുള്ള സാധ്യതകളെ മുന്നിൽ കണ്ടുകൊണ്ട് വേണം ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള സമൂഹത്തിലേക്ക് പ്രവർത്തിക്കുവാനായി, സമൂഹത്തിൽ ഉത്തമ പൗരന്മാരായി വർത്തിക്കുവാൻ വേണ്ടി നമ്മെ തന്നെ ഒരുക്കുന്നത് എന്നുള്ളതിനെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള ഒരു കൂട്ടായ വിചിന്തനത്തിലാണ് നാം ഇവിടെ ആയിരിക്കുക. ഒരുപക്ഷെ അധികം സംസാരിച്ച് ഇക്കാര്യത്തിൽ നാം എല്ലാം ഒരു വിധത്തിൽ അത്ര അറിവുള്ളവർ ലേ പേഴ്സൺസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന രീതിയിലായിരിക്കാം. ഇതേക്കുറിച്ച് വളരെയധികം അവഗാഹത്തോടെ ചിന്തിക്കുകയും പ്രത്യേകിച്ചും തിരുവനന്തപുരത്തെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം കോസ്റ്റൽ ലൈനുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ഒത്തിരി കാര്യങ്ങൾ നടക്കുന്ന ഒത്തിരി കോസ്റ്റൽ ലൈനുള്ള ഒരു മേഖലയാണ്. വിഴിഞ്ഞം പോർട്ടുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ആ കോസ്റ്റൽ ലൈനെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള പലവിധ ചർച്ചകളും നടക്കുന്നതിനെ കുറിച്ചും നമുക്കറിയാം. ഒരു ഫിഷറീസ് സർവകലാശാലയുടെ വൈസ് ചാൻസലർ എന്ന ഒരു അവഗാഹമുള്ള വ്യക്തി ഓൺലൈനായിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹത്തെ പോലുള്ള അനുഭവ സമ്പത്തുള്ളവരിൽ, ഗ്രാഹ്യമുള്ളവരിൽ നിന്നും, അതോടൊപ്പം തിരുവനന്തപുരത്തിന്റെ വികസനത്തിന് വേണ്ടി സ്വപ്നം കണ്ടുകൊണ്ട് കുറേ നാളുകളായി ജീവിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന രഘുചന്ദ്രൻ നായരും ജയശങ്കർ പ്രസാദും പോലെയുള്ളവരെയും അതുപോലെ ആന്റണി സാറിനെ പോലെയുള്ളവരെയും കേൾക്കാനാണ് നാം ഇവിടെ ആയിരിക്കുക. തുടർന്ന് നമുക്ക് ജോഷി ജോസഫ് സാറും വരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഇപ്രകാരമുള്ള പല വിധത്തിലുള്ള അനുഭവ സമ്പത്തുള്ളവരുടെ, പലവിധ വീക്ഷണങ്ങളുള്ള, നാളെയെക്കുറിച്ച് കാഴ്ചപ്പാടുകളുള്ള ഇവരിൽ നിന്ന് നമുക്ക് കേൾക്കാം. അതിനുശേഷം എപ്രകാരമുള്ള പൗരന്മാരെ വാർത്തെടുക്കേണ്ട പ്രക്രിയയിലാണ് നാം ആയിരിക്കേണ്ടത്, എപ്രകാരമുള്ള ഒരു രൂപീകരണത്തിലൂടെയാണ് നാം കടന്നു പോവേണ്ടത് എന്ന് ചിന്തിക്കുവാനും ആലോചിക്കുവാനുമുള്ള ഒരു സമയമാവട്ടെ ഇത്. ഇന്ന് ഉച്ചവരെ നീണ്ടു നിൽക്കുന്ന ഈ ചർച്ചയ്ക്ക്, ആലോചനകൾക്ക്, വിചിന്തനങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവിധ ഭാവുകങ്ങളും നേരുന്നു. നന്ദി.
Thank you, Father, for your thoughtful words and guidance. We are privileged to welcome Professor A. Biju Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies, to deliver the inaugural address.
Thank you, honorable dignitaries, educators, researchers, the industry partners, and the members of the academia, respected principal, Dr. Sabu Thomas, my friend and once colleague, Professor Gabriel Simon Tattil. A warm good morning to all of you and greetings from Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies. It's a privilege for me, in fact, to offer the inaugural address at the seminar titled Blending Academia into the Emerging Ecosystem, Thiruvananthapuram at 2030, organized by Loyola College of Social Sciences, Thiruvananthapuram. I'm very happy that we are speaking about specifically about the vision plan for Thiruvananthapuram at 2030. We are here not only to imagine what we can do to our capital city, and also to reflect on how academia, industry, and society must work together in that journey. And that is more important for this seminar. And to be frank, Thiruvananthapuram is my hometown. I lived almost more than 5 decades in this town, and I carry the city within me, even though I am at present at Cochin, and unfortunately I could not join you in person. And when I speak of the future of Thiruvananthapuram, it is not with the data alone, but with warmth, memory, and hope. And today we explore a simple truth. The destiny of Thiruvananthapuram is inseparable from the destiny of its academic ecosystem. As an academician, I will start with that. And as a person interested in ecology and environment, I will also focus on that point. And the theme, blending academia into emerging ecosystem, reminds us that our universities and colleges are not mere spectators in urban change, but they are the architects, catalysts, and also conscience keepers of that change. And that is the importance of Thiruvananthapuram, especially when you think about its future. And another thing is, as a person with a background and interest in ecology, I foresee Thiruvananthapuram evolving into India's greenest and most sustainable cities. A place where development rises from the soil of respect for nature, people, and culture. It's a city that always been, grown with humility, and that humility will become the bedrock for its future strength. As I envision to 2030, we see a city where lush greenery should meet smart mobility, which is happening at present. And this is an ecological intelligence, and that can and must become a model that other Indian cities look into with admiration. And also, once Mahatma Gandhi said that Thiruvananthapuram is one of the greenest cities in India. And then there is every scope. We have 2030 sustainable development goals. We can always think about one of the smarter and greener cities as far as we look for the future of Thiruvananthapuram. Another thing, as an academician, what I could say is that Trivandrum is home, or Thiruvananthapuram is home to institutions of national and global pride. If you look at the institutions, research institutions, academic institutions, starting with VSSE, Rajiv Gandhi Center for Biotechnology, ICER, IAST, SCMST, and then Kerala Digital and Technological Universities, Technopark, Life Science Park, and whatnot in terms of academics and research background. And then if you have, and also this is a center for the startup and innovation hubs. And if you consider, and few Indian cities can hold such a destiny of scientific, academic, and technical excellence. And that means it's a time that we imagine a consortium of institutions across the city, a powerful cluster that fosters interdisciplinary research, academic tourism, and a global partnership. And that potential is very, very vast as far as Thiruvananthapuram is concerned. And as I look forward to Thiruvananthapuram at 2030, I believe that this is a time. Time is ripe to think about a consortium of educational and research institutions in Thiruvananthapuram, especially when you look at the kind of extraordinary intellectual assets, universities, specialized research centers, industrial park, innovation hub, everything together. So if you look at the multidisciplinary cluster university, there is a possibility in Thiruvananthapuram. I believe that by 2030, if you consider all the colleges and universities in Thiruvananthapuram, clubbed with the research centers there, and definitely we can have a multidisciplinary cluster university system, and that pool the strengths and share the resources and co-develop innovative programs and for Thiruvananthapuram cluster university, and that possibility can be explored, and that could be one of the model for the rest of India as well. And also this can become a global destination for academic tourism, innovation, and interdisciplinary expertise. And also you think about the subjects this university can offer. For example, you look at AI and data science and fintech, cybersecurity, design and gaming, creative industries, and depth tech startups. So you can see that deep tech startups. So there is a lot of possibility for innovation, and when we work together as a cluster system here. And that means we have to have innovative ideas to design future-ready curricula, and also encourage entrepreneurship and the startup mindsets and interdisciplinary science. That means this seminar is not a discussion, is not going to be a discussion. It's actually a bridge between knowledge and opportunity, campus and city, and learning and livelihood. And that means we can have a kind of academic consortium in Thiruvananthapuram by 2030, which can meet many of the sustainable development goals which the United Nations envisage and the India is looking for. And another hope, definitely, and Mr. Ravichandran Nair and other luminaries here who are present in person there will speak about that. I'm not going into the details. The port, the Vizhinjam International Seaport, offer, especially in terms of the logistics and other supports. And then, to bring to your attention, we had 1 month back in Thiruvananthapuram, there is an Europe Fisheries Conclave with the European Union. And what we in Fisheries University proposed is actually an academy, an international academy of maritime skills for blue economy, with the support of the European conclave. And if space is available, and Thiruvananthapuram will be the best place to launch this kind of an international academy for maritime skills, and that scope is still there. And then we have all the seaport and the metro, the smart metro happening in Thiruvananthapuram. And definitely there is all option for Thiruvananthapuram to become one of the greenest and sustainable cities as far as India is concerned. And that means by 2030, I truly believe that Thiruvananthapuram can stand as a national benchmark, a city that offer other cities, which make other cities envy for its greenery, admire its inclusivity, and learn from the harmony between ecology, economy, and culture. And this is the Thiruvananthapuram which I dream of, and this is the hometown where I can always be proud of. And with academia, government, industry, and citizens all playing their part, we can hope that Thiruvananthapuram can achieve this goal. And I am sure that this discussion and this very timely seminar will lay the foundation for creating ideas, and some of the ideation will ultimately end up in some of the innovations hubs there in Thiruvananthapuram as well. So I am very happy and also privileged that I am part of this seminar, and thank you for the invite to be with you, at least for some time online. And I'm sorry that I could not be present physically, but then in a later period, we will definitely make it happen. And with great pride and hope, I declare this seminar inaugurated. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for that enlightening inaugural message. Ladies and gentlemen, the keynote session is now upon us. We invite Mr. S.N. Raghushandran Nair, President, Trivandrum Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to present the keynote address.
Screen and there is ഇതുണ്ട് ഇത് താഴെയുണ്ട് ഇത് ആദ്യം വരണം മുന്നിൽ ചെയ്താൽ Can you make, yeah. Can you make a, yeah. Good morning to all of you. This, I am standing before you because fundamentally Professor Simon is instrumental in trying to convince me that I should come here. But I think I took the right decision because Anthony always used to tell me, he's always is a person who really talks for Loyola. Anthony and me were college mates in University College. We were playing hockey together those days, and a lot of other people around us were there. And thank you, Professor Simon. Principal, Reverend Dr. Sabu, my good friend Jay Shankar is here. I have talked about Anthony just now. I'd like to acknowledge Dr. Joshi and also Professor Saji. And also just the introductory speech done by none other than a person from Trivandrum, Professor Biju Kumar, who is the VC of Kufus. Now what I'm showing you in this is that first you need to know where we were. You need to know the legacy. During the time of the Maharaja, Travancore period, and the Barna Undaya Kalatha, we are today talking about a lot of things which they thought those days back. You can see the institutions which have come, what are the reforms he brought in. You can see how he brought in reforms, how he brought in a public service commission. See all the thing. I don't want to read out everything. You can just see it. You know, how much thought they have gone into it. He talks about income tax those days. He talks about diet for convicts. Even for the convicts, they were looking at diet. He's talking about the temple entry proclamation, which we all know is one of the proclamation which even Mahatma Gandhi acknowledged. And the way he was running the show, you can say that, you know, there was an assembly, he reconstituted a Travancore legislature and all. But come to the industry part, just see here. You see the industries he brought in. He brought in Punalur paper mills in 1931. He brought in the Flying Club and the Trivandrum Airport in 1932. Wellington Water Works, which you are drinking water even today, 1933. He brought in the Land Mortgage Bank in 1933. The Kundra Ceramics, which is used to produce the ceramics, which is one of the best ceramics product which used to come out from there, 1937. The C. Chitra Mills, 1937. Onatukara Agriculture Research Center, those days, 1937. He brought in the Transport Department, 1938. And the Trivandrum Rubber Works, 1939, where down the present MRO, that is the maintenance wing of the aircraft stands today, was earlier the rubber works. Production of shark and cod liver oil in 1939. And he cemented the Trivandrum Kanyakumari Road those days in 1939. And Pallivasal Eltro Project 1940, graphite industry 1942, machine tool manufacturing, Perimchani Reservoir Scheme in 1943, you look at this, Tapioca Research Station 1945, Vijay Mohini Mills 1945, State Bank of Travancore 1945, Balarama Varma Textiles Shangote 1945, Marthanda Varma Waterworks Nagarkoil 1945, the first cement factory in the country, Travancore Cement Factory in 1946, and then you see the pencil factory in 1946, Travancore Rayons in 1946, Trivandrum Titanium Products 1946, aluminum factory which all of you know, Alint, it was in 1946, Forest Industries Limited 1946, FACT Alway 1947, Aspinwall Commercial Economic Relations with Kingdom of Travancore 1956. Now come to this. You see this. Under education. Under education, you see, he started the Travancore University in 1937. Now it's the University of Kerala. College of Engineering, Trivandrum, 1939. Special School for Physically Challenged, 1942. Compulsory Education Scheme, 1946. And then you see the art and culture side. Sri Chitra Art Gallery, 1935. Declared Padmanabhapuram Palace as a protective monument, 1937. Swati Tirunal Academy of Music, 1939. Swati Tirunal Sangeeta Sabha, 1942. Travancore Broadcasting Services, that is the present All India Radio, 1942. Kartika Tirunal Theatre in Trivandrum, 1973. Then come to health. See what happened. He started a public health laboratory in 1937. You have tuberculosis hospital, Pulenar Kota, 1937. State Insurance Department, 1938. Production of rabies vaccine. Anne rabies vaccine is being produced here in 1939. Rabies in a vaccine, just look at it. Medical inspection for school children, 1942. Branch of the Red Cross, 1944. Trivandrum Medical College, 1951. Started Avitam Tirunal Hospital, SAT Hospital, 1952. Sri Chitra Medical Center, 1976. Then under social, you see, started the Sri Chitra Home for Destitutes, 1934. Land for the Landless, 1936. Introduced 1G Poor Fund, 1941. Prohibition of milling rice, 1942. Rice rationing Travancore, 1942. Midday meal scheme for school children for the first time in India, 1946. And then you see under tourism. Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary, declared as private reserve, 1934. Department for Marine Biology for Fisheries, 1937. Aquarium, present Sri Chitra Marine Aquarium, Vidinyam, 1938. Renovated the Napier Museum and expanded the zoo in 1942. Why I said all this is fundamentally is to tell you that if you have a visionary, there's a willpower, and somebody takes ownership, all this works. This is done by a person between 1931 and 1949. See the year, the time he took to do all this. Now, do you have that sort of vision, people here? Do you have that sort of a crowd here? When over the years, when we come back, you see, I'm saying this because I came to India in 1974 to do my studies in St. Xavier's College after doing my schooling in Malaysia. Now, since then, I've not seen, can we talk, how many institutions have we added after 1956 when Kerala has come into existence? When you see the number of institutions here. Those days, the Tatas and Birlas and Dalmias were coming to willing to do business in Kerala, which means Kerala was an investment-friendly state. It's not a state which is untouchable. We were far ahead compared to any other states in India. But what happened to us? Where did we go? Did we lose out? Yes, we did. Fundamentally because it is not that we became democratically active, but democratically active, but we were not decision makers or we don't have vision. That is what the point which I have to drive. Now I'll come to this presentation. And this is going to be, I'm only just giving you a remark. See, now the fact is that, now this is a very important meeting where you say the academia is going to play a big role if you want Trivandrum to really grow. This is something where all of us are seeing. All of you are sitting here are people who are looking for an opportunity to work in this city. And you don't, I hope you don't look at the other cities abroad, because I'm quite sure the opportunities are going to come in a big way. So, there are times when history moves slowly, if you look at it. And when you look at it slowly, and there are many times when we see many forces have to align together, and quietly, we have to ask quietly a very hard question. What do you want to become? First you have to decide what you want to become. And here, Thiruvananthapuram is standing in that second type of moment. What should Trivandrum become? Where are we going to be? And there is no longer any city, this is no longer a city of administration. People used to say, Thiruvananthapuram Sarkar Udyogastharude city-aanu. ഇവിടെ ഒന്നും നടക്കില്ല. എല്ലാം സർക്കാർ ഉദ്യോഗസ്ഥരാണ്. And is no longer a city of culture, because now we have culture coming back in a big way. We have good memories. Is that enough? And today I want to do two things. Clearly lay out a plan where pillars that can transform Thiruvananthapuram by 2030, because this is the figure you said, 5 years. And speak honestly about the challenges that can block that transformation. I will not give you a good rosy picture, but I will also show you what is strong and how we will show it and how better we can do. That is what I'm saying. The rosy picture is, you can see, pictures can be really rosy, but unless you really enjoy it, it's not going to be rosy. Because the only way a serious city is to plan for the future, and we have to plan for the future. Now, take Trivandrum. What are the things in Trivandrum? You'll go by one. I'm taking that, we have a global, today we say that decades we have been an administrative capital and a calm place of governance, a city of institutions, culture, temples, campuses, and quiet intellectual life. That identity matters, there's no doubt, but it's no longer enough. In today's world, cities are judged on their role in global trade and logistics. This is how cities are being judged. Their technology and innovation capacity, their research and science infrastructure, their connectivity, sea, air, digital, and land, their ability to convert education into economic power. For the first time, Thiruvananthapuram can give serious answers to all of those. Not by claiming perfection, but by pointing to the five concrete pillars of transformation. Thiruvananthapuram at a glance, I'm giving a just indication. We have a deep sea transshipment port after a big fight. Now, no point talking about what the port is there. The port has come. Since yesterday, we have covered about 635 ships have come. And 13 lakh containers have been handled. So that's good. But how many of you have seen any container moving through the city? You have seen none. Because these containers can only move when you have a gateway cargo. So that is very important. So, and at the same time, we are talking about the port, there are challenges also. You have the connectivity problem, the road connectivity problem, you have the railway connectivity problem, we have the land requirement problems, idella undu. But we will achieve it in the next 5 years. The road connectivity will be in place. The railway connectivity underground tunneling, 9.6 kilometers from Thiruvananthapuram to Balarapuram will be done because it's underground tunneling. And at the same time, the Cloverleaf intersection, which is still not clear when we're going to get it, but the movement of cargo will start taking place. And once this start moving, you will find that activity starts, and you find warehousing activity coming, maritime business coming, you have blue economy working out, and that's where you students, you have a course here also for that, right? I'm quite sure you guys will be right in time to tap that advantage. Then you have, and the other challenge I am talking about is, you have the IT parks. The IT parks, we have to really improve on the IT parks. We have to have more private IT parks. That is one. And then you have the international airport, you need more connectivity. That is happening. And then you have the metro rail, which we are all talking about. If things go well, in 5 years' time, metro rail should be in place, if we go well. But it took years for us to get the Virinjam port. But I'm quite sure that wait will wait. But we need not wait that long to get the metro rail in place. And then you have the hospitality and healthcare center. You have seen how the, the Blackstone invested 5,000 crores in KIMS, which means, why did they come and invest here? They have a business here. You have the Astor Medicity getting ready near the Arkulam Bridge. Arkulathinte avudunnu eduthotu poyal the Astor Medicity building is getting ready. You can see all that there. Then you have to get public inland, public infrastructure. All these things are very important. So what do we really do? So to form the thing, let us go. If you look at it, Virinjam, I'm quite sure it will take off. There's not much you need to do about it, because it will definitely start moving. And it is definitely going to be a hit, because it is not only for the Trivandrum, but for the country as a whole, and also in that area, if you look at it, all the thing. Can you reduce the AC a bit? Because it's feeling quite cold. Or you can off it also for me here. Now, when you say about, So when you say that, when we talk to the government or when you talk to private people here, avaru parayum Thiruvananthapurathe land illa nu parayum. So what we did, we started looking around. Tamil Nadu immediately thotadutha 5,000 acres eduthu. They started planning for an industrial park. They already started. We say we don't have land. We did a infrastructure, Virinjam conclave here in just January. People started thinking that when they come to the government has not been able to give them a good reply. Land undo illiyo edum parayilla. And then they say we are land edukam povannu. So we as a Chamber of Commerce just put out a paper release saying those who have land 50 cents to acre, more than 50 cents in 15 kilometers, please respond. Today in our database, we have land of more than 1,000 acres in the Chamber of Commerce. Anybody can come and ask. You can ask, if you want anybody who want a land, please come and ask. I will give you the list. Anybody can. So this is something which we can do. It is not something which we can't do. So this is something which you have to remember that is very important. And here, crew change. നമ്മൾ ക്രൂ ചേഞ്ചിൻ്റെ കാര്യം പറയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കണം, ക്രൂ ചേഞ്ച് നേരത്തെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. 735 ഷിപ്സ് ക്യാരിഡ് ഔട്ട്. അന്ന് 735 ഷിപ്സ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അന്ന് 6,400 ക്രൂ ചേഞ്ച് നടത്തി. 10 crores came to government. Then suddenly crew change stopped because of the government of India policy. ഇപ്പോൾ ക്രൂ ചേഞ്ച് തിരിച്ച് തുടങ്ങാനായിട്ട് ഓർഡേഴ്സ് ആയി. So we will be starting crew change. So that is going to be another thing which is coming. So crew change will come in. You have the second phase work has started. About 15,000 crores of work is being initiated. So these things are all going on. Then you have, here you must understand that once the port is ready, we'll be the best port, better than Jebel Ali. So there's nothing you need to really worry about. Now I'll go one by one. Any questions on the port, then I'll answer that. Hot water. Because I thought I'll finish one by one. Now, if anything on the port you can ask, I can clear that. Then I can go to the next one. Crew change in the couple the crew has to get off. Crew maru, and the crew has to go in. So there are crew people going in and going out. Change that ship has to come, and then you have to get clearance, immigration clearance, and then they move. So hotels get filled up. You see, on the COVID time, what happens is that all the hotels were empty. The crew change which really kept them going. That is what the crew change is. So, and bunkering has started now. All these have started. If you look at it, we are really doing well on that side now. That side. IT we are already going quite well. 500 companies are already there. And there are already about, about 100,000 people are there. Yesterday also, I think Jay Shankar had visited the Taurus campus. I think of those who have not visited that place, please tell us. We should go and see a private campus, not the government campus, and see how they have done it, how they maintain it. Facility. They want to really come to a place where there's something can happen. Now we have more and more companies seeking space here. But unfortunately, we have space. So we are now telling all other private operators to come up and put up space. But space you will have more people. Now World Trade Center, which is now starting on December 16, Kallidua. Once the World Trade Center comes in, then you will suddenly find that they're doing a 5-star hotel also inside that. It's 1.2 million, which is 12 lakh square feet. I'm quite sure Brigade Group will bring in big players. They are not here to just not to do business. They have already done a World Trade Center in Bangalore. So this is definitely going to bring in more and more people into the place. Yeah, thank you. And here, the other thing which is very important for you to understand is that government just need to probably keep it here. No problem. Yeah, what actually government need to do is only facilitate. Government pani thana irundha madi. Nammal facilitate cheyidana idu odum. The pani irundondana idellam ninnu povunnu. Njan Kerala University Senate member aanu. Appo nammal avade irikkumbam Senate meeting il poi irikkumbam I don't really find it worth sitting there. I think once Professor Simon was there in the same Senate along with me. Avade chellumba thodakam mole vadaka. I mean, can you imagine or VC verumbam poda vada onokke vilikkum or VC enganakku ingane vilikku ennalladana. I can't understand how you call him like this. Appo adu angane oru setup avuduthe. So they don't talk about education at all. See, you are now almost autonomous college. I am very sure that only if you come and bring in new syllabuses, only you definitely survive. Then only your students are going to have some sort of edge along with the international community. Jamboante kaalathu padikkunna subject nammal ippozhum pala collegeilum padipichondirikkunnu. Teachers are not willing to change. Teachers are parayna reason is teachers padikkan thayaralla. Padicha avaru padichittu venam padipikkan. Adukondu avaru padikkan thayaralla. So teachers don't want to teach. So this is what is happening. So syndicate syndicate is the syndicate. That's a fact. Nothing will happen. This is what going on. I told the VC, you had the most beautiful hall in Toronto called the Senate Hall. Our കാലത്ത് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ പെർഫോമൻസ് നടന്ന ഹാളാണ് ഈ കേരള യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി സെനറ്റ് ഹാൾ. MS സുബ്ബലക്ഷ്മി മുതൽ SP ബാലസുബ്രഹ്മണ്യം വരെ പാടിയ ഹാളാണ്. They can just do up the hall, air condition it, and they can rent it out. All our halls in Toronto are costing 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh. They can give even for 1 lakh. They can get 10 programs, 10 lakh rupees per month. That is enough to maintain it. So these are things which I am only trying to say. You know, for example, you have the Greenfield Stadium. This Greenfield Stadium, what are we doing? 50,000 capacity of a stadium. What are we doing to the stadium? Nobody is bothered because it got into a lot of legal tank. If 3 varsham കഴിയുമ്പം the stadium comes back to Kerala University. What is going to university do with the stadium? അത് വേറെ ഒരു യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി സ്റ്റേഡിയം ആയിട്ട് മാറും. So do you really want this to happen? So what I'm saying is, നമ്മൾ പറയുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ I'm telling a lot of things on the podcast and WhatsApp. So you all can't simply sit at home and listen. It is a very good. What are you doing to make this happen? A lot of people keep quiet because in silos ആയിട്ട് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റൂല. Same thing, you have tourism coming. 8 five-star hotels are coming into Trivandrum. 8 hotels. One is coming in Techno Park inside. The other one, this hotel is coming near the Akulam, what you call the road to Ulur. The other one is coming in Rehejas. You have the behind Tamara, they're coming in another hotel. Yusufali is coming in another hotel. Lemon Tree has come. Vidinyam, we are having a hotel coming. In Golfings Road, where you have the Uday Convention Center, they're having a 111-room 5-star hotel. Angane 8 5-star hotels varuvanu. Why they are coming? There is potential in this place. Appo ivide nammal kaandathu only private players can bring in what the Maharaja used to do. Only private players can do. Whether it's going to be hospitals, whether it's healthcare, whether it's going to be sports, cinema you take. ഒരു കാലത്ത് തിരുവനന്തപുരം സിനിമയുടെ കേന്ദ്രമായിരുന്നു. We all cinema, when I came here, I remember those days, Maryland studio മുതൽ ഉമാ സ്റ്റുഡിയോ മുതൽ എല്ലാ സ്റ്റുഡിയോസും ഇവിടെ ആയിരുന്നു. Because I am also a filmmaker. ഞാൻ 3 പടം എടുത്തിട്ടുള്ള ആളാണ്. I can tell you the difficulty in doing film. People are very keen to have films done here. Sure, we don't have, because when the people start moving out, Mohanlal went to Cochin, others went away from here. So suddenly we found that Cochin is started being. Now we are trying to bring back all these people back because almost 100 crores is being spent in Chitranjali studio to bring the top class film city. And work is going on. February ആകുമ്പോൾ കുറേയൊക്കെ കഴിയും. അപ്പോൾ അതൊക്കെ ആൾക്കാരെ തിരിച്ചു കൊണ്ടുവരണം. Everything. You look at research centers. All 8 research centers are അവിടെ ഉള്ളത്. All, whether it's Rajiv Gandhi Biotechnology Center, research clusters ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞു ഇവിടെ. When Chris Gopalakrishnan came here, he made a research cluster. A cluster വന്നു. All the things, whatever I think the Vice Chancellor of the Kufu said, all the research centers, അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞൊക്കെ ഞാൻ repeat ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. Everything is there already. That all, every look at it, ecosystem is good for Trivandrum in every way. Everything. You look at entertainment, you take sports, you take healthcare, you take tourism, and whatever is there, we have to really just push it. And somebody should drive it. നമ്മുടെ corporation elections വരുന്നു. Now, when you put your election to the vote, you should ask that I'm not talking politics. You ask your candidate, whom you think you're going to vote, what is he going to do for Trivandrum? Tomorrow we are having a debate between the 3 candidates, between Shabri Nath and SP Deepak and VV Rajesh, where I'm moderating. To ask them, what these guys, when you become mayor, what will you do for the city? What? I say that, the Trivandrum, Pudhiya Varuna Trivandrum Corporation's job is to make Trivandrum a metropolitan city. We have all the ingredients to become a metropolitan city. How we have to get it? We have to really put data in place. എല്ലാം അങ്ങനെ ഓരോ സാധനം കളക്ട് ചെയ്ത് വെക്കുമ്പോഴേ ഇത് വരുള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ അത് വരുമ്പോൾ മാത്രം you can pitch for that. If you see that Madurai and Coimbatore has been removed from that metro status, metro project, because they say they don't have numbers. People fear that Trivandrum also going to be that. No, Trivandrum has the numbers. Yesterday I got all the numbers. What are the numbers? 20 ലക്ഷം പേര് വേണം. Trivandrum city today has got more than 10 lakh people. തിരുവനന്തപുരം പറഞ്ഞാൽ 5,50,000 ഏക്കറാണ്. 5,50,000 acres is Trivandrum. So, and we have this, you have the Neyatingara, you have Katakada, you have Niramangat, Varkala, you have, I think all these are municipalities. And we have the panchayats. So nearby panchayats കൂടെ ആഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ നമ്പേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടാവും. how you have to pitch in എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. കാരണം 2011 outdated census വെച്ച് പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ, yes, we don't be anywhere. But even then, with 6 lakh people, Cochin got the metro. So if they can get a metro, why can't we get a metro? So we should ask. We are not here to blame any other city. നമ്മൾ കൊച്ചിയെ ബ്ലെയിം ചെയ്യാനോ കോഴിക്കോട് ബ്ലെയിം ചെയ്യാനോ ഒന്നും അല്ല ഇരിക്കുന്നത്. നമുക്ക് കിട്ടേണ്ട കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മൾ കിട്ടിയാൽ മാത്രമേ we can only be able to get it. Now you take the land holding. See, നിങ്ങൾ നോക്ക്, നമ്മൾ സെൻട്രൽ പ്രിസൺ ഇരിക്കുന്നു. 7 ഏക്കറാണ് ആ പ്രിസൺ ഇരിക്കുന്നത്, കോ പ്രിസൺ. ചുറ്റുപാടിരിക്കുന്ന another 43 acres, 50 acres of land in prime in the city, കേരളത്തിൽ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ കുറ്റവാളികളെ കൊണ്ട് അവിടെ ഏറ്റവും പ്രിസേഴ്സിനെ കൊണ്ട് ഇടുന്ന സ്ഥലം. ഡു യു വാണ്ട് ദം ടു ഇൻ ദ സിറ്റി? ഈ 50 acre prime property, you want all these criminal fellows, rapists, murderers, all crime fellows sitting there and giving them the best of the food and living in the heart of the city. Do you want them? Why can't they take them to Netalgari or something, that area, open jail, which is more than 300-400 acres? Now you take the example, the other one, museum. The museum zoo today is only 50 acres in the city. 21 acres is Kanukunda Palace. 8.5 acres is Putrigandam Maidanam. 5 acres is Tagore Theatre. What are we doing to Tagore Theatre? 5 acre land we have. Such a beautiful. Can't we make it a beautiful exhibition, fair, all sorts of activity center in the heart of the city? You take mental hospital, 36 acres. 1850s, 1870s. That time, now 33 wards and 500 patients. Do you require so much land for them? Do you require this amount of land? 36 acres. Why can't government think of putting up a mental science, Institute of Mental Sciences, all India level or campus level? I'm not saying use it for anything else. Use it for something good. Otherwise, SAP camp, huge area they have. This city complete idicha vahanangal, ningal museum avada chenna kaanam. All these accident vehicles are put on the road. Road lot kerikottirikka. Oro dosam avaru idile idu vechittu block cheythu അങ്ങോട്ട് കയറി പോവുക. So there's no space at all in the city for people. അവിടെ വരുന്ന ടൂറിസ്റ്റിന് ബസ് പാർക്കാൻ സ്ഥലമില്ല. And you are keeping all damaged vehicles in the main road. പട്ടത്തായാലും രാവിലെ ഏഴിക്കുമ്പം കണി കാണുന്ന ഇതാണ്. Can't we remove all this to the SAP camp where they have few acres of land and earmark that area for just damaged or confiscated vehicles? ഇതൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള കാര്യമാണ്. This ഈ 5 yearsനകത്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഇതൊന്നും I'm not talking anything which is going to be bigger than this. Yeah, changing the museum, changing the prison from here is not something in 5 years you can happen, because what they talk about, they're trying to change the ladies prison from Attakulangana to the main prison. There's a hue and cry already saying maatam pattilla adu ivada thanne irikkanonu. So we see, you look at it, the city is well planned. Operation Ananda vannappo city there was no flooding at all. When Gigi Thompson became chief secretary, he took the ownership and did Operation Ananda. What he did, he cleaned up all the canals. Encroachments mottham idichu kalanju. Ambalangalundi, Palliundi, everything he broke down. All the bridges also he broke it down. But second stage vannappo aaru illa, because second stage ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ എന്താ പറ്റുമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ആൾക്കാർക്ക് അടുത്ത ആൾ വരുമ്പോൾ ചെയ്യും ഒരു ജിജി തോംസൻ്റെ പ്രോജക്റ്റിൽ ഇനി ജിജി തോംസൺ ഓർത്തു പോകും ആൾക്കാർ. അപ്പം ഞാൻ ചെയ്യാതിരുന്നാൽ മതിയില്ല. സോ അതെന്ത് പറ്റി, തിരിച്ചതാ പിന്നെയും ഫ്ലഡിങ് തുടങ്ങി. Why should you relate to a person? Somebody started something. If it's good, carry forward that particular activity. Now, even the aircraft, the flight numbers 35-40 കുറഞ്ഞു. Now we have more than 100 flights. 5000 പേര് പോകുന്ന സ്ഥലത്ത് ഇന്ന് we have 15,000 people traveling. And please, one more hotel which I missed out is that yesterday there was approval for the Adani hotel in the airport. 5-star hotel is coming, 240 keys, 240 rooms. So just imagine, Yusuf Ali's convention center, which is doing in near Chaka, is going to have 1,500-2,000 people for as a convention place. So you are sitting in a place where everything is there, everything. There's nothing which you don't have. Number sports veno. We are now number Trivandrum Commons. The committee is looking at, we are planning to acquire, or we are in the process almost finalizing a property of 32 acres near Thonekal to put up a FIFA standard football stadium. Because they have told us that if you have a stadium of FIFA standard, we can get all the best leagues, football leagues in Trivandrum. KCA yesterday met me to talk about taking over the Greenfield Stadium for cricket, where they will maintain. They are willing to spend the money, but nobody is willing to give it. This is what you have, everything. Everything, if you look, sports-wise, how many, city, 3 stadiums or a city, whether it is a Central Chandran Stadium, Central Stadium, University Stadium, you have LNCP just nearby, you have a Greenfield Stadium, and a lot of other institutions have got beautiful grounds. Why are we not faring well? I'm the Vice President and the Executive Director of Kerala Olympic Association. ഒന്നാമത്തെ റാങ്ക് കിടന്ന കേരളം ഇന്നിപ്പോൾ 15ാമത്തെ റാങ്കിൽ വന്നു. Last time we went to the 5th rank. You know why? Cutlery fight was part of that particular activity. We got 15 medals or 12 medals. This year they decided not to have cutlery fight. Straight away we came down because other states never had cutlery fight. Sports, what are we doing for sports? Are we really giving the students a chance to really perform well? Are we catching them young? So we have now started adopting. We are looking at almost 200 students, best students, and we are bringing the Olympic associations finding CSR funds, and we are to coach these students with foreign coaches or maybe international standard coaches to make sure that our children will perform well in the national games and also in the coming Olympics if they get it. We are trying to, even if you take the margin-free shops which we have started for sports in Trivandrum. That shop which we started in near Alagapuri Auditorium today sells goods at rates which you cannot imagine. For example, roller skating shoes, which you buy from your coach is 3,000 rupees. The same roller skating shoes which we bought from outside, from the same shop, from the same manufacturer, same quality, we are selling at 800 rupees. Shuttlecocks being sold at 1,800, we are selling 1,200. What I'm saying is, Trivandrum is going to have to be the place. So we are now replicating this to all districts in Kerala. However, Namla highway, if you take the metro case in the issue, one alignment, I think the Jayashankar also knows that we took a lot of trouble to make them understand, take the alignment in such a way that it covers all the places. What do you want? Ridership. Ridership on metro Vijay. So we brought it. Now the issue is whether it should be elevated or underground. Now elevated are 250 crores per kilometer. For 250 crores per kilometer, 7,750 crores were a metro padiyanayittu. But if you have to go for hybrid, it has to be slightly more because hybrid is cheyadirikan pattula. If you have a metro going through from Palayam to Thambanur, all the shops on the right sides and left side will be closed forever. You have seen this in Cochin. No, all the shopkeepers have to shut out their shutters because nobody will go to that road, and that's the end of the trade. So we must have them also working. So then what you need to do, you may have to go underground. So it has to be hybrid. When it becomes hybrid, the metro will be able to cater to everybody. So it doesn't disturb any social fabric. At the same time, it also ensures that the beauty of the city is also not affected. Iconic buildings are not affected by concrete structures and all that. Master plan, which we had 1971 under the master plan, with great difficulty, we fought, and last year, 2024, after 53 years, we brought the master plan. New master plan has come. See, master plan it only covers the city. It does not cover any parts of the outer ring road corridor. It does not cover the outer area growth corridor or outer ring road. That's not covered. But in the future, master plan, people say, so the government must have a capital city development department run purely by the chief secretary. I think when I spoke to Jayashankar, will talk more about it because when Dr. Babu Jacob was the chief secretary, we got the Punch Lloyd to do the city roads, under Palayam underpass and everything came like that, even the stadium. However, we need, you see, Oro department, realized serious side government is serious about making Trivandrum a capital city. We are now calling it as state capital region. Why I'm calling it a state capital region is because we have Kollam, which is going to be, now Attingal will be very soon the roads are over, you will be very near to Attingal. Kollam will be part of this. Pathanamthitta will be part of this. Kanyakumari will be part of this. Tirunelveli is part of this. So we are almost part of a state capital region. So when you have a state capital region, you have so much of catchment area. Everakeyanu nammal airport use cheyyunnathu. They are the one who is flying out from here. For example, visa. You want to hit a visa, you go to Kochi. Last week we had a discussion with the German consulate, and it's decided that they will take up and they will start maybe thrice a week a visa center in Trivandrum so that you can hit your visa from Trivandrum. UK visa Trivandrum kodukkan thodangittundu from Chalakudy Lane. I don't know how many of you know that. There's a UK visa center here. Because people are almost 30 to 40% people are traveling from here to Cochin to hit the visa in the VFX center. We must have that. Like that, everything have to be there. So all of you should know that even I mean, most of you remember we all want to have food. Kochi food. Ceylon Bakehouse to fries to everybody. You say go to Grand Hotel, that hotel. Today, Trivandrum has become the hub of Tattagadas. Best of the foods you get. Okay, and whatever choice you have, you have. And there's a lot of new shops, fine dinings coming in. So you have to understand that Trivandrum has transformed already. But in 5 years' time, what do you want? We want these academic people who are going to come out from here, they must have opportunities. So we have to create opportunity for them. That is what our job is. And that's what the Chamber of Commerce is doing. That's what the Trivandrum Management Association is trying to do, to make you understand. How many of you here has visited the Vizhinjam port? Hardly 5. Please tell your management, we'll make arrangements to take all of you to the Vizhinjam port and see it. You should go and see the port. Professor Simon, take the lead and take them in batches and show what is happening in the port. They don't understand what the port is really all about. You only seen pictures. Go there and understand how things are working and how much land we have, what is happening, what is the approach road, everything. Like that, every activity is very, you know that we have, in Trivandrum has got a maximum number of multiplex, 43 multiplex on the theatres. Multiplex means screens on the theatres we have 15. ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ ടർഫ് ഉള്ളത് തിരുവനന്തപുരത്താണ്. 190 ടർഫ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. 190 ടർഫാണ് ട്രിവാൻഡ്രം സിറ്റിയിൽ today functioning. So much of people are already in the evening till night playing cricket and doing a lot of games there. Like that, every activity is documented. We are trying to see how much can we bring in, how much people can be brought in. We want to see that, that research. Nammal actually any university or any particular for the matter, patent ആണ് ഏറ്റവും important. എത്ര patent ഉണ്ട് നമുക്ക്? I don't think we have any much patent here. I think Professor Simon, you should be able to tell me that, but I don't think so. I mean, if a university at grading, the more research you have, the more patents you have, people will, you want, instead of we going out, we must bring all the foreign students to come here and be part of the city to learn and be, all these guys are going to England, you're going to all, some of them go to the best cities, but not all cities in England or US is good. There are far better cities in Trivandrum, in Kerala and everywhere, in India also. So what you need to understand is that you are now an autonomous. Very soon the Kerala government has brought in the private university bill. Our bill, we must try to capitalize on that situation. This Loyola College should be the first college to have a private university by yourself. You give your degrees and you form your syllabus. I think Marvinus College, Klimis Pida was telling me they are already on the job. They are also trying to get it. So he says that, if by election, he is also taking up that particular responsibility. So what I'm saying is, syllabus, please remember your syllabus should be on par with international standards. For IIT, അതേ സബ്ജക്റ്റ് തന്നെ ഇവിടെ പഠിച്ചാൽ at least he's happy that though I'm not able to get into IIT, but I'm learning the same subject. So I can probably compete with that person in a job. They have a brand equity. But CET products are always, the Jaishankar and all is CET products. See, you just see CET is one of the institutions in the country where all prime institutions come here for taking them. You see all the CETians, for that matter, are sitting in the most pivotal position. Take Rajesh Subramaniam, who is a college student from your college, he's now sitting as FedEx. Okay, you just see where he is sitting. So you have people from your college, from this city, they all came from here. My college mates, like I had, during my college, when Anthony's time, we had 13 people got IAS. Whereas Nalini Netto, Bharat Bhushan, Gigi Thompson, all these guys, Vijay Anand and everybody. Chris Gopalakrishnan is from that college. We have in that college, we have Priyadarshan. We have Mohanlal coming there, just visitor from MG College. He used to come. Coffee house used to be our place. കുറേ ഈ പഠിത്തമൊക്കെ വേണം, കുറേയൊക്കെ ക്ലാസ് കട്ട് ചെയ്യണം, കുറേയൊക്കെ അടിച്ച് പൊളിക്കണം, അതൊക്കെ വേണം കേട്ടോ. ഇങ്ങനെ പോയാൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ അടുത്ത് എത്തൂല, അത് പറയാം. ബട്ട് അറ്റ് ദ സെയിം ടൈം ബി ഗുഡ് ഇൻ ദിസ്, ബിക്കോസ് യു മസ്റ്റ് ഹാവ് എവറിത്തിങ്. ഒരു ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂവിന് പോകുമ്പം, when I sit in a lot of interview boards, if only an academic qualification മാത്രം വെച്ചാൽ ഒരാളെ എടുക്കത്തില്ല. What is the, ഇപ്പോൾ എക്സ്ട്രാ കരിക്കുലർ ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ് മാറി, ഇപ്പോൾ കോ കരിക്കുലർ ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ് ആയി. You must have co-curriculum. How good are you in intermingling? How are you? Are you an extrovert? Are you an introvert? All these things you should change and change yourself to become a good thing. Because if you want to come in, when all this opportunity opens up in Trivandrum, you'll have all other universities coming from, even candidates coming from all over the place to be part of this university. They also will come to get the job. But you are also going to contest with them. So with this, I think I've covered most of the subject. There's a lot of things, if I keep on talking, you will find that there'll be too many things to cover because the topic is so big. And anything you would like to ask, you can tell me. I can give you an answer for that. If there's a question and answer, there is time. Please look at it.
സാറ് തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത് വസ്തുവിൻ്റെ ലഭ്യതക്കുറവിനെ കുറിച്ച് സംസാരിച്ചു. ധാരാളം വസ്തുക്കൾ തിരുവനന്തപുരത്തിൻ്റെ പരിസരത്തായിട്ടുണ്ട്. എല്ലാവരും ഓരോ വീട് വെച്ച് അവിടെ താമസിക്കുകയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ചേംബർ ഓഫ് കൊമേഴ്സ് ആൻഡ് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രീസിൻ്റെ ആഭിമുഖ്യത്തിൽ ഒരു കമ്പനി സ്ഥാപിച്ചിട്ട് ഈ കമ്പനിയിലേക്ക് ഷെയറായിട്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ യൂണിറ്റുകളായിട്ട് ഈ വസ്തുക്കൾ വിട്ടുകൊടുക്കുകയും അവർക്ക് അപ്പാർട്ട്മെൻറ്റുകളിലേക്ക് താമസം മാറ്റാനുള്ള സൗകര്യം ചെയ്താൽ നമുക്ക് വിഴിഞ്ഞം പോർട്ടിന് ആവശ്യമുള്ള ആയിരക്കണക്കിന് ഏക്കർ ഭൂമി തിരുവനന്തപുരത്ത് പരിസരത്തായിട്ട് ലഭിക്കും. അങ്ങനെ സാധ്യത ഉണ്ടോ?
അതിൽ ഞാൻ ഒരു കാര്യം പറയാം. ഇപ്പോൾ പുതിയ റൂൾ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ദ ന്യൂ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി റൂൾ സേസ് ദാറ്റ് ഇപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്കൊരു വീടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പണ്ട് അത് കമേഴ്ഷ്യലായിട്ട് കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്യണം. ഇപ്പോൾ അത് വേണ്ട. യു ക്യാൻ ഗീവ് പാർട്ട് ഓഫ് യുവർ ഹൗസ് ഈവൻ ഫോർ കമേഴ്ഷ്യൽ ആക്ടിവിറ്റി, ഓർ യു ക്യാൻ ഗീവ് ദ ഫുൾ ഹൗസ് ഓൾസോ ഫോർ കമേഴ്ഷ്യൽ ആക്ടിവിറ്റി. പണ്ട് ഇത് മാറ്റിയെടുക്കാൻ ഭയങ്കര പാടാണ്, ഫ്രം റെസിഡൻഷ്യൽ ടു കമേഴ്ഷ്യൽ. ദ ന്യൂ റൂൾ ദ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയൽ പോളിസി ഹാസ് ബ്രോട്ട് ഇൻ ദാറ്റ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ഈ ഇരിക്കുന്നത് നമുക്ക് ചിലപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ വീട് മാത്രം മതി ഒരു കമ്പനിക്ക് ഒരു ഓഫീസ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ. മനസ്സിലായില്ലേ? സോ ഇറ്റ് നോട്ട് നെസസറി നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ലാൻഡ് ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും ഇത് ഇഫ് യു ക്യാൻ മേക്ക് അവൈലബിൾ ദിസ് സ്പേസ് ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് പീപ്പിൾ കം. അതൊരു പ്രോബ്ലം ഇല്ല. ദാറ്റ് ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് പീപ്പിൾ ഇസ് നോട്ട് അവെയർ ദാറ്റ് ദ ന്യൂ റൂൾ ഹസ് കം റീസെൻ്റ്ലി വേർ യു ക്യാൻ യൂസ് യുവർ റെസിഡൻഷ്യൽ ഹൗസ്. Partly you can convert that into commercial, there's no difficulty, or even you can give it full. There's no restriction. അതുകൊണ്ട് അതാവുമ്പം അതായിരിക്കും എളുപ്പം. മറ്റേ ആൾക്കാരെ നമ്മൾ ഫ്ലാറ്റിന് മാറ്റുമ്പോൾ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞാൽ എൻ്റെ ഫ്ലാറ്റ് വാങ്ങിക്കാൻ ആൾക്കാരെ വരാൻ പറയും.
അല്ല, ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കുന്നത് ഈ വസ്തുവക 1 ഏക്കറോ 2 ഏക്കറോ 4 ഏക്കറൊക്കെ ആയിട്ട് ഒരുപാട് വസ്തുക്കളുണ്ട്. ഈ വസ്തുവകൾ അതിൻ്റെ മൂല്യം കണക്കാക്കിയിട്ട് ഈ കമ്പനിക്ക് ഏൽപ്പിക്കുന്നു. ഈ കമ്പനി നമ്മുടെ വിഴിഞ്ഞം പോർട്ടിനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ട്രിവാൻഡ്രം സിറ്റിക്ക് ആവശ്യമുള്ള സ്ഥലം ഒരുക്കാനായിട്ട് അവർക്ക് അവസരം കിട്ടുകയാണ്. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആളുകൾക്ക് അവരെ റീലൊക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് ട്രിവാൻഡ്രം സിറ്റിയുടെ പരിസരത്തേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവന്നാൽ സിറ്റിയും വികസിക്കും, നാടും വികസിക്കും. 2-3 ഏക്കറോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 1-2 ഏക്കറോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 50 സെൻറ്റോ ആയിട്ട് അവിടെ അവർ താമസിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവർക്ക് കൃഷി ചെയ്യാനൊക്കെയില്ല, ആട് വളർത്താനൊക്കെയില്ല, ടൂറിസം നടക്കുകയില്ല.
അല്ല, ഈ ഐഡിയ നല്ല ഐഡിയ ആണ്. പക്ഷേ ഇത് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് നമുക്ക് ഇതൊക്കെ ചീത്തപ്പേര് കിട്ടുന്ന പരിപാടിയാണ് കേട്ടോ. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ കയറി എടുക്കാൻ പോയാൽ ഇതുപോലെ ചേംബർ ഓഫ് കോമേഴ്സിന് മര്യാദയ്ക്ക് നമ്മൾ പോകുന്നത്. ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ഗുഡ് സജഷൻ. ഗവൺമെന്റ് ക്യാൻ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് എ കമ്പനി വേർ ദേ ക്യാൻ പീപ്പിൾ സേ ദാറ്റ് ഇഫ് പീപ്പിൾ ആർ വില്ലിംഗ് ടു ഡു ലാൻഡ് പൂളിംഗ് വി ആർ ഓപ്പൺ ടു ദാറ്റ്. യു ക്യാൻ ഗിവ് യുവർ ലാൻഡ്, വിൽ ഗിവ് യു ഇക്വിറ്റി ടുവേർഡ്സ് ദാറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയാം. ഐ തിങ്ക് ഗവൺമെന്റ് ഷുഡ് ഡു ദി ലാൻഡ് പൂളിംഗ് പാർട്ട്. നമ്മൾ അതിൽ പോയി വി ഷുഡ് ഓൺലി ബി നമ്മൾ ഇതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് പോയി ഫെസിലിറ്റേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കൊടുക്കുന്നതാണ് ഏറ്റവും ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. Once we facilitate, then it's easy for us to just help. എവിടേക്കൊക്കെ ബോട്ടിൽ നെക്ക് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഇവിടെ എവേക് ട്രാൻഡം ഉണ്ട്. ഞങ്ങളെല്ലാം എവേക് ട്രാൻഡം ഭാഗം. ഈ പ്രാവശ്യത്തെ അവരെല്ലാവരും വന്ന് ഞങ്ങളുടെ അടുത്ത് ചോദിച്ചു, ഈ പ്രാവശ്യം എവേക് ട്രാൻഡം സ്ഥാനാർത്ഥികൾ നിർത്തുന്നില്ലയോ എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചു. ഞങ്ങൾ 5 വർഷം മുമ്പ് സ്ഥാനാർത്ഥികൾ നിർത്തിയതാണ്. അണ്ട് തിരുവനന്തപുരം വികസന മുന്നേറ്റം ശങ്കായിരുന്നു ഞങ്ങൾ. ആൻഡ് വി ഡിഡ്, നമ്മൾ 14 സ്ഥാനാർത്ഥി നിർത്തി 7% വോട്ടും കിട്ടി. വി ഡിഡ് വെൽ. പക്ഷേ വി ആർ നോട്ട് പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ പാർട്ടി. വി ഡിഡ് ദാറ്റ് ബിക്കോസ് വി വാണ്ട് പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ പാർട്ടീസ് ടു അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് that if you don't look at random, we will be forced to come into the picture. ഇപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം നമ്മളില്ല, ബിക്കോസ് ഓൾ പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ പാർട്ടീസ് ആർ ടോക്കിംഗ് ടു us. We are talking to the BJP or the LDF or UDF. ഇത് അപ്പോൾ ഈ പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്ന സജഷൻ ഓൾസോ വിൽ ടേക്ക് അപ്പ്. ദാറ്റ്സ് എ ഗുഡ് സജഷൻ യു ഗേവ്. വി ക്യാൻ ടേക്ക് ഇറ്റ് അപ്പ്.
ഒന്നുകൂടെ ചോദിക്കാം, സമയമുണ്ടല്ലോ അല്ലേ? ടൈമുണ്ടല്ലോ?
തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും.
മറ്റു നമ്മുടെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസ രംഗമാണ്. നമുക്ക് റിസർച്ച് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് വളരെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട സംഗതിയാണ്. നമ്മുടെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസ രംഗത്ത് സർക്കാർ ധാരാളം സബ്സിഡി കൊടുക്കുന്നു. ഒരു 12ാം ക്ലാസ് വരെ സബ്സിഡൈസ്ഡ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ റീസണബിളാണ്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് പഠിക്കുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഓരോ കുട്ടികളുടെ ആവശ്യം അനുസരിച്ചാണ്. അവരുടെ ആപ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഡോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരുടെ ആവശ്യം അനുസരിച്ച് പഠിക്കുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഇവർക്ക് ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിൽ നിന്ന് ചിലവാകുന്ന തുക, അത് പ്രൊഫഷണൽ കോഴ്സ് ആണെങ്കിലും മറ്റ് സോഷ്യൽ ഏതെങ്കിലും ആണെങ്കിലും, അപ്പോൾ ഈ തുക ഇതൊരു അല്പം പൊളിറ്റിക്കലായിട്ട് വരുന്ന, പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ആരെയും പ്രത്യേകമായിട്ട് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നില്ല. ഈ ഫീസ് ബാങ്കുകൾ ലോണായിട്ട്, നോഷണൽ ലോണായിട്ട് കണക്കാക്കിയിട്ട് ഈ കുട്ടി പഠിച്ചു വരുമ്പം അത് തിരിച്ചടയ്ക്കുന്ന രീതിയിലായാൽ ധാരാളം ഒരുപാട് പണം നമുക്ക് റിസർച്ച് രംഗത്തേക്ക് കിട്ടും. ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പോൾ
എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഇപ്പോൾ സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്സ് ഇസ് ഓൾറെഡി ഓൺ ദ ജോബ്. അല്ലേ? ഐ തിങ്ക് ജയശങ്കർ ഷുഡ് ബി ഏബിൾ ടു ആൻസർ ദാറ്റ് പോയിന്റ് വെൻ ഹി ടേക്ക് അപ്പ് ദാറ്റ് ജയശങ്കർ ഇപ്പം ഇത് ഞാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞ് സംസാരിക്കുമ്പോൾ he'll tell you your ഈ particular topic he will address your issue.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, anybody else?
Anybody else from the audience? We have seen some questions coming from very senior citizens, and those who are juniors, those who are young. Because we saw a host of opportunities from Tattagada to 5-star hotels coming up in Trivandrum, sports, infrastructure, hospitals, the Vizhinjam port, container terminals, insurance, warehousing that is going to unfold. So anything which you have in mind, the youngsters, which you would like, yeah, please.
So, good morning, sir. My name is Neetu. I have a question regarding the Vizhinjam port. So, there are a lot of families, more than 25,000 families, I believe, around the Vizhinjam port. I just wanted to know, do you have any observations and insights in terms of the development that's happened across that community? And in terms of how are those youngsters in the community being integrated into this development process? How is it affecting the livelihood of the general fishermen community around the port?
See, first and foremost, you must understand, the fisher community is coming down day by day. Their children is no more becoming fisher community at all. They all taken studies and moving out. But the local community is taken care of very well because the amount of money earmarked by the government to look after their shelter, their requirements, and also bringing in modernization for the Vizhinjam Harbour fishing port is already there. We have all the facilities which is there. But the point is that it is being initiated by government. It is not, Adani is also contributing to it in a big way. But you must understand the implementing agency is government. So when government comes in, you know that how slow it takes place. But today, I think the people in the locality are so very happy because even the amount of small bit of land they have been able to get good price for it, number one. Second thing, today they are getting lot of offers from the various institutions which are coming up there. The human power is required for everything. Even for cleaning, even you're going to be even for security services, all those things, everything is coming up there. So the local community today, which were up in arms against the port, today is now supporting the port, including the parish. Earlier the parish was the one who was leading it, but now today the parish is also with us. You find that the church are all and part of it, and skilling is there is a skilling. ASAP is open up a skilling institute there, where the locals children are taken and skilled, so that they also get into the jobs. So I think now we don't find any hue and cry on that account from that area, and they are being taken care of. Because I know your question is that because you find that are we leaving them in the lurch after taking it, then you forget about it, and then they have to really go out and cry. That situation is no more there. It is all being taken care of. Yeah, please.
ബട്ട് ഇപ്പോഴും അവിടെ പ്രോപ്പർ വാട്ടർ സപ്ലൈ ഇല്ല, അവർക്ക് ഡ്രെയിനേജ് ഫെസിലിറ്റി ഇല്ല. ഐ മീൻ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ക്വൈറ്റ് ഷോക്കിംഗ് ഫോർ മീ ആസ് എ പേഴ്സൺ ഹൂ ഇസ് ആക്ച്വലി ഫ്രം കൊച്ചിൻ ബട്ട് ഐ കെയിം ടു ട്രിവാൻഡ്രം.
What you said is correct. The water supply scheme already fund has been allocated. But this has to be implemented by whom? By the government. This is where the problem is. We can only force the government. The money has been earmarked by the Adanis for that, all these things, for the water supply, sewage, and also the electricity supply in that area. Everything has been given. A lot of money has been earmarked for that. Only thing that they have to lay the pipes and get it moving. That is the point. And second thing, they have to even tap the groundwater also to a large extent for that.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions relating to this? Relating to what Sir was talking about, and relating to your potential for jobs which are coming up, or what could be the kind of preparedness which you need to have? Questions from the audience? I think one question in between, because you were talking about taking these students to, we already had a visit with, I think, Reverend Father Sabu and myself and Professor Saji. We already visited the Vizhinjam port. We had to go with the students, but very soon
Maybe we have
taking,
students who are doing logistics and all that. They should be taken there.
Very soon we'll be going there with the students.
You should look at it.
Definitely that will happen. As far as Layola is concerned, our students who are in supply chain logistics will be visiting the Vizhinjam port soon. Now, just to add one question to this, what could be the interface with the perhaps Chamber of Commerce
and also maybe Rotary, Management Association, in terms of academics, because in the NEP 2020, we hear a lot about experiential learning. And experiential learning is all about taking them to see what is happening. Because I'm sure many of the students here might have heard about this upcoming projects for the first time. Because like this 8 to 10 new 5-star hotels coming, the cargo gate which is going to get opened, the infrastructure projects which are going to come, the sports, the social development and all. So to strengthen the experiential learning pathways for learners, so that they see and understand that this is what is going to come, these are the things which are required to see that it moves swiftly without any obstruction. What could be that initiative where we and you should come together?
See, I'll just tell you one thing. The students, first thing, we should stop working in silos. See, we all have to work. Academia and the industry people have to work together. Those who have retired should be able to give you mentoring to all the students, okay? Because the students require mentoring. And they have to be told what to do and how to do. They are a young lot which has got a lot of fire in the belly. And when they have a fire in the belly, we must tell them, no, don't worry. Because this is where we need to tie up with the banks, with the financial institution where they can be funded. Startup mission and all these things are MSME, for example. It's going to be a major game changer here because we won't have, please remember whatever industries you see here, which was done by the Maharaja will never come to Kerala anymore. All these heavy industries, there's no land. Second thing, polluting industries will not be permitted. And we will not have any big car companies or anybody to come up and set up anything like we may have like green hydrogen and that sort of thing coming. Allah the value process. So MSME is going to be the thrive. Micro, small and medium enterprises. And this is going to be a major thing where I find a lot of youngsters come to the chamber and say that they started so many things. They are doing a lot of things which none of you, there are people working on artificial intelligence, how you can deploy it and use it in what area. And young boys and girls come there. So we tell them that they'll come and have a chat with us. You're all free to come to the chamber, come and meet, come to the management association. We have a lot of this management association, we have a lot of people, senior people who can guide you and tell you what you want. We are always available. We can even sign, I think, have you signed an MOU with the Loyola College?
Not yet.
No. So I think we are willing to, from the Trianum Management Association as a president, I'm telling you that we are willing to sign an MOU with you guys.
Thank you.
So that you guys will be mentored. We can definitely help you to understand what we are doing. നിങ്ങൾ മാറി നിൽക്കരുത്. ഞാനിത് ഇങ്ങനെ പോഡ്കാസ്റ്റിലൊക്കെ കൊടുക്കുമ്പം ഫേസ്ബുക്കിലൊക്കെ വരും. ഞാൻ ഫേസ്ബുക്കിലില്ല ഒന്നുമില്ല, ഞാനിത് കൊടുക്കും. പിന്നെ ഞാൻ തിരിച്ച് നോക്കത്തില്ല. കാര്യം അതിൽ വരുന്ന കമൻസ് നോക്കിയാൽ പിന്നെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് തിരിച്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ തോന്നത്തില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ നോക്കാതിരുന്നാലും ഏറ്റവും നല്ലത്. So I don't even look at it because there is the first thing. So what I try to tell you is, I'll just wind up this by saying, when a young person in 2030 says, I'm from Trivandrum, the world should not only think that it's only beaches and governance. We should say that, they should say that you are from Trivandrum, the port city. You are from Trivandrum, the tech city. You are from Trivandrum, which is a research city, logistics city. And you should also be saying that the city should be used, that its brain and its geography is being used properly. So we should be like that. We should think in those lines. So it is leadership call to action. What I will say is, none of this will happen, because I have just written the book, I don't want to miss it out, by inertia. It will not happen. It will only happen if government is willing to openly discuss land and legacy issues with us. They have to discuss with all of you. Industry is willing to invest in talent and long-term infrastructure, not just short-term. Industry should be willing. We should discuss about it. Academia is willing to redesign curriculum around real problems. There's no point studying something which is obsolete. You're not going to reach anywhere. You must be futuristic. And citizens are willing to support difficult but necessary changes. It's very difficult to get citizen support because mob psychology, actually. പക്ഷെ ഒരു കാര്യം ചോദിക്കാൻ വന്നാൽ നോബഡി കംസ്. ദാറ്റ്സ് എ പ്രോബ്ലം. ഇപ്പോൾ ഗ്രീൻഫീൽഡ് സ്റ്റേഡിയം, നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവരും ഒരു ദിവസം പോയി ഗ്രീൻഫീൽഡ് സ്റ്റേഡിയം അവിടെ നിൽക്കുക, നോബഡി വിൽ കം ഹിയർ, ഈ സ്റ്റേഡിയത്തിൻ്റെ തീരുമാനം പറ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ദേ വിൽ ഫൈൻഡ് ആൻ ആൻസർ. ഇതാരും ചോദിക്കാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് ആരും ഒന്നും പറയില്ല. സോ വി ആർ നോട്ട് ഷോർട്ട് ഓഫ് പൊട്ടൻഷ്യൽ. ബി വെരി ക്ലിയർ, വി ഹാവ് ഗോട്ട് ഓൾ പൊട്ടൻഷ്യൽ ആൻഡ് വി ആർ ഓൺലി ഷോർട്ട് ഓഫ് അലൈൻമെൻറ്റ്. നമുക്ക് അലൈൻമെൻ്റ് ആണ് ഷോർട്ട് ഫോൾ ഉള്ളത്. ഹൗ വി ക്യാൻ ഡു ദിസ് അലൈൻമെൻറ്റ് കറക്ഷനാണ് നമ്മൾ നോക്കേണ്ടത്. So 2030 is not a date waiting for us. Let me be very clear. It is a mirror that will one day look back and say, you had a seaport എന്ന് പറയാനുള്ള ചാൻസ് കൊടുക്കരുത്. വി ഹാഡ് എ സീപോർട്ട്. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ പണ്ട് പെൻസിൽ ഫാക്ടറി ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, അപ്പോൾ പിന്നെ ആന ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, തേങ്ങ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു പറഞ്ഞിട്ടൊന്നും കാര്യമില്ല. സോ യു ഷുഡ് നോട്ട് ബി ലൈക്ക് ദാറ്റ്. വി ഹാഡ് എ ടെക്നോ പാർക്ക് ഒരു കാലത്ത് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ്സ് ദ ഫസ്റ്റ് ടെക്നോ പാർക്ക് ഇൻ ദ കൺട്രി. You had 8 national research institutions. What happened to that? ഇത് 8 10-12 ആയി ഇങ്ങനെ കയറി പോകണം. You have an airport, a metro plan, a world-class stadium, which never took off. No, ആൾക്കാർ പറയുന്നത് മെട്രോ വന്നു പക്ഷേ ടേക്ക് ഓഫ് ചെയ്തില്ല. എയർപോർട്ട് വിചാരിച്ച പോലെ പിടിച്ചില്ല, ക്ലച്ച് പിടിച്ചു. ദാറ്റ് ഷുഡ് നോട്ട് ബി തിങ്. വി മസ്റ്റ് ബി സേയിങ്, and you say you had land that time or you had people. So what we have to do is let it be never be said that Thiruvananthapuram wasted its moments. We should not waste our moments. And let's be said that when the opportunity came, the city and the people in rooms like this choose courage, clarity, and action to make this 2030 a reality where we all can work together. So let us, if you all can put your hands together, we can work together. And this is the promise which I can give you from the Trivandrum Chamber of Commerce, from the Awake Trivandrum, from the Trivandrum Management Association. Thank you for this opportunity. And I think I probably have taken more time. Sorry for that.
Thank you so much for the wonderful question. So with courage, with action and conviction, let us see that the city becomes a port city, a tech city, a logistics city. And all the youngsters, open your mind and thought onto this and let us work together on this journey. Over to the MC.
Thank you, sir, for that insightful keynote speech. Now I invite our principal, Father Dr. Sabo P. Thomas SJ, to present a memento to our esteemed speaker.
Thank you, Father. We now welcome Dr. Shankar Prasad C., Director, Center for the Management Development, to deliver the first special address.
Good morning, everyone. Distinguished guests, senior members of Loyola, principal, directors. After that, a cross-section or the development cross-section of Trivandrum that has been laid out by my senior friend and colleague and Raghuchandran sir, we have been together for quite some time and we have been raising this voice. And before I get into, I had written down a few points, and I was just commenting to him that generally people don't call both of us together onto a same stage to talk about Trivandrum because it's going to overlap. But then I have a different perspective for the time being that I'll do. But before, I had a few questions which I think he had addressed, but I thought I could add a couple of points to it before I go forward. I was the Chief Operating Officer for Vizhinjam, and we started construction there in Vizhinjam. So the first project we did was a 3 MLD water supply, and 1.5 MLD of that water supply was for the people who live there. So that is how we started Vizhinjam. So it was never ignoring the population, but the first priority we gave was for them. The substation we started there was first giving power to that region before we started the work on Vizhinjam. I'm talking about 2011-12. So that's how we started. I'm personally the person who was involved at that point of time. Now the source talked about the pooling part of it. There is a good model called Magarpeta. Magarpeta land pooling is a very good model which is available, which can be taken up. And we were just discussing that that's going to be the only way. Government acquiring it and later passing and all will not happen. So the best thing is pool the land, give him proportionate equity based on valuation and other things which will be required if Vizhinjam wants to develop because it's a quite densely populated area. Next is how do you connect? You connect by ways of internship. Internship and projects don't do it for the sake of academic requirements. Do it seriously. We all need, Awake Trivandrum, we hired a lot of interns across all colleges. We asked them to map the most beautiful spots of Trivandrum. The kids wandered around, and whenever they went in bikes, took a selfie with that location. We collated all those things. Another set of people worked together to find out what are the schemes of government, benefits of government, and we tried to put all those projects together, and we made a list of around, 250, 300 projects. And then we tracked each one of them. These are academic, but real life things which you can work. Like you take a membership with Kerala, the Trivandrum Management Association, take a membership with the IEDC. I hope you already have an IEDC, right? Be active in that. This is how you become, hands-on. Let's not be armchair specialists. We need people who are willing to dirty their hands, really work on it and learn. And the best part is, as a student, you can make mistakes. Nobody is going to question you. Even starting a company, do it right now so that you make a mistake and nobody is going to question you. So, okay, those were the points which I wanted to quickly touch upon based on the earlier comments. And then when I was asked to, when Dr. Simon Turtle called me up and said that you need to talk about it, and it's a special address, so I don't have an agenda to speak about. I was just looking at how did the Maharaja's development point was shown. How did the Trivandrum develop? It started off as a lot of initiatives for human capital development, as was shown, industrial development by the ruling kings. And then it became the political center, as was always called. Trivandrum is all Sarkari. This is when, after the formation of the state. Then came a time, time and space where the Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station came, only because of geography, not because of any other choice. They couldn't take it elsewhere because we are the closest to the equator, and that particular spot is only here. Second came up, the university came up, the engineering college came up. You have all these institutions which have come up. So institutions of importance were springing up. So that was a period when you really, the pre-1960s has been spoken about. The 1960s to 1970s was this period. 1970s to 80s saw Keltron coming up. 70s saw CMD, IMG. So it's again, institutions were being built around. Again, from the 80s and CET and Sri Chitra, everything coming up. And from the 80s to 90s saw us moving forward in tourism. The National Geography identifying Kovalam as one of the best spots to visit. And we have made Kovalam dirty for that matter, whatever it is. But that was one of the best, second best spot of something which I remember that way. And 80s was also a turbulent space when India's economy went down, 1990 opening up, and a lot more things. And again, 90s we saw the springing up of Technopark, the new era of development in Trivandrum in terms of technology. The first IT park, we claim the first greenest and all, but then other states have gone far ahead. We are pretty much behind in terms of where it is, in terms of the contribution to the India's economy. Then, and again, from the 1993 launch and all, and then the Technopark has become 1 lakh people, and then it has grown towards the phase 1, 2, 3, and now 4. So I think that has grown, increase in volume. 2010 saw our increase in infrastructure. I should say that the governance mechanism in terms of Trivandrum Development Authority failed. Then we had a very senior bureaucrat who took up the mantle of developing the capital city, hence happened the Trivandrum Capital Development, Regional Development Program. A lot of work was done in terms of roads, underpaths, and that is a time when Vizhinjam was really taken to the limelight with bidding and other stuff. And then, obviously, Vizhinjam and other developments. Then finally, if this you look at where we stand right now with after 2015, once the startup mission started picking up, a lot of startups coming in, and then 2020s where we are with all the new schools coming up, new universities coming up and everything. So that's where we stand. A rosy picture, nice, good, high potential, everything is great. But then let's also do a reality check. Vizhinjam took 20 years of conceptualization, started in 2000, and then 20 years of conceptualization before it could get land. Metro, we are all very gung-ho about it. But the news is we could also be rejected along with Coimbatore or Nagarkoil because we are talking about we don't have the traffic. My question to the people who are planning us, you very well know that your exam pass percentage is 40 marks. You write for 30 marks and expect for moderation is not acceptable. They wanted 20 lakh people flying over it, then you better give a proposal which had 20 lakh people running through it. Otherwise, you are bound to fail. So I think, and the most, discouraging factor is, we are okay with whatever happens. You waited for 20 years for Vizhinjam, we are okay with that. You wait for another 15 years for metro, we are okay for that. Your roads are all in a bad shape, we are okay for that, right? We are a very nice, obedient culture kind of thing. We don't question the status quo. I moved my office, which was called International Center for Free and Open Source Software, from the Techno Park to the stadium. We built the space under the stadium and we put IC4s there. Criticized for moving out of Techno Park to a sports complex, what is this guy doing? But I had a larger place today, it's a JNU Research Center. Now, how many of you have visited this place? It's a beautiful park which we had approved. I was fortunate to be part of the committee which was approving the national games for the stadium. We have a drop-in pitch approval for that. You know what a drop-in pitch is? If you have a cricket pitch, you can pick the pitch out, place another thing and play football on that. It's a multi-purpose stadium. We didn't avail it. You have a SAI center in the Lakshmibai National Physical Education Center. We're not going to run it. And we are okay with that. And that is our problem. We don't have voices. We're not bothered. Avik Trivandrum made such a huge, loud sound of collecting data about Trivandrum. Nobody writes about it. Everybody studies, researchers do work, but nobody comes out and speaks up. We are fine with that. And this casual, lethargic approach is what is giving us our due. Opportunities are coming before you. Are you ready for it? You are studying logistics, go better be see what logistics is all about. Logistics is more than the port also. Your retail industry is growing like anything. Everybody is starting. Their warehouses here, the mobility is here. So we need to look at that. You're talking about fintech. This place is full of technology companies who are into financial aspects. They are trying to automate. AI is getting into financial automation. You will not do the same ledger and voucher checking kind of stuff hereafter doing your BComs. It'll be different. I think everyone, whoever is there, I think if you are graduates into BCom, that is something. If you are into logistics, that is something else. So all of this is going to be different unless you grab the opportunity. You need to work with the industry. You need to work on something. Everybody is open for part-time internships. Just go out and work on that also. You learn much more on that aspects. Now, having said that, the reality is that we are not bothered. We are a very callous group of people and then we are suffering what we ought to suffer. Right? Your developments are delayed because you need only that. I'm okay with that. So then I only get that. Trivandrum Corporation expanded itself up to Karakotam or more, if that's what I understand. But what does a local self-government promise to give you? They promise to give you the basic civic amenities. What is the basic civic amenities? Give me clear air, clear water, and take care of the waste management. You have none. Water supply is disrupted last 3-4 days back. We didn't have water for 4 days. I think we adjusted. Fortunately, air quality is good because you have less of industries and other vehicle population. You don't have anything else. You don't have a waste management system proper. We had POPs, we ensured that they closed down. But where is that 300 tons of solid waste going? Nobody asked this question. POPs had an agreement with Trivandrum Corporation saying that we will process 300 tons of waste, solid waste. We closed that down. So where is that 300 tons going per day? We fill it everywhere. All your, drains and others are there. We don't raise a voice. We don't have we speak very high about environment, but we don't look after the basic environment issues at all. So that's the reality. Now let me come over to opportunity. We can speak about it and don't kindly, excuse me for being cynical because we've been repeating the same over and over again in many forums, making our voices heard only to collect a few more extra enemies and nothing more than that. Anyway, so Trivandrum 2030 roadmap. I'm just going to touch upon organizations where I've worked or I am related to, because that's what I know about. Now, how do you leverage the space and the education base of the state? VSSC consumes around 500 crores of engineering stuff. How much of it is being produced from Trivandrum or in and around this place? We don't have it, right? We are not supplying to them much. There are a few companies, but not too many. Now, the successful of VSSC, ISRO, Technopark, all these say that we have a potential. We started something called the Space Park, but it got into some other issues and then it got delayed. How do we fast track the Space Park? Space is another frontier. Data science is based on the inputs from satellites, space vehicles, and a lot more of it. How do you do that? And the BrahMos is here. The integrated defense industrial park is being spoken about, so that's the opportunity. How do you run the semiconductor race? We can't have a foundry here, but you can have the fabless and also the testing part of it. How do you really build upon that? So we have a center of excellence in terms of CDAC, Keltron, all those things playing together. We can try out a fabless. The Trust Research Park, where I was a CEO, they are building up a research center in Velapinchala. Now, how do we utilize it? Now, being social science, don't think that you're not part of this. Being commerce or being any other area, it's not only for the engineers. Every business has got today, once AI has stepped in, it is not, I being a functional person can also get a code written. If I can define my functionality, the system will generate the code for me. It is no longer technical. So that's the strength which is coming to you. You need to learn. You need to learn a bit more of tech. Like you learned computers, you now learn a little more about prompt engineering and how to make use of all these things for your success. Electric mobility. Somebody spoke about the green energy initiative. Trivandrum is going to be a green hydrogen hub. We also had to become a solar city where the rooftop solar should take care of a lot of this thing. There is a consortium by KDISC which is running an experimental thing on lithium titanate oxide batteries, LTOs. Instead of lithium ion, they are building up a battery with VSSC technology on LTO, and they already formed a consortium and they are inviting a manufacturing thing so that titanium provides the titanium part of it and the rest of it. Now, the research commercialization by KDISC, they are trying to fund this kind of transactional research. RGCB has been identified as one of the genomic agencies here. Sri Chitra is already acclaimed in terms of its international capability. The medical equipment manufacturing system in Thonakil is growing up as a big center. So the biomedical is also working around this. Now, this is regarding the technology part of it. Now, in the logistics, has been spoken about like your Vizhinjam expansions and other stuff, so I'm not going to look at it. But my concern remains that the land bank will never get created. Probably Sir's suggestion of a Magarpetta model might work. We cannot acquire land at very high prices and expect the industry or logistics industry to function a business out of it. If it is, every cent is more than 3 lakhs or something, it will be non-viable. So only a pooling can work out there. Anyway, let me quickly run through a few more of things. Outer Ring Road is being spoken about. We'll take another sweet 10 to 15 years before we realize it. So we are okay with that. So we can wait. 2030 can wait on that. Because Outer Ring Road touches IIST, Valyamala, and that is the area where you have large plantation lands. So if you are short of land, Trivandrum, get those plantations, because that is where you don't have the ceiling of 15 acres and you can acquire more land. I think that should be the area where we should be working at. And Vizhinjam connected to Tirunelveli is the only way out. Vizhinjam is not just for Kerala, not just for Trivandrum, it is for the entire India. Now, urban mobility, again, let's wait for the metro. Not going to happen. And let me, with my cynical this thing, metro is not going to be realized before 2030. So we'll keep it for the next seminar. Now, this heritage, wellness, and high HDI development was spoken about how it was done, so I'm not preserve it. We spoke about the Kudira Maliga or whatever it is. It's a very shabby condition. The preservation is bad. So preserve your things. And you preserve old unwanted buildings in Vellambalam Junction. It should have been a zone which you will have high density working, because well, even the Caltron building which is there, it's supposed to be a green zone in the earlier one. I think it has changed. It should be a high density zone. So create high density zones where you don't have old buildings. Create heritage zones where you will only allow pedestrians and cycling and other kind of stuff. So I think that, I'm not an urban expert, so somebody in the urban might be thinking in those lines. Now, like he said, the city is to be promoted as a global tertiary healthcare destination, and definitely it's happening. And talent retention and quality of life. There's no point in holding all these people, like students here, because the aspirational needs of all these kids are different. And they'll all stay back. We don't, my logic to this is, if you want to create a butterfly garden, you don't go catch all the butterflies and try and put it in one place because they fly off. Rather, you create a beautiful garden and the butterflies will come back there on its own. And I think that should be the approach that we are saying. And one last line before I go, as I was there in the Taurus Embassy Park, 10 lakh square feet, fully filled. And this one project came up in the Emerging Kerala Summit in 2012. It took 10 years for us to grant them permission to do work. We still have that 10-year gap. I think we should shorten it. The gap should be shortened, decisions should be faster, and I think we should poke less into delaying our projects rather than being more of a facilitating person. Now I'll take a few questions if you have the time, otherwise I'm done. Please.
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful speech, quite updating. Since it is a students' forum, in its very basic sense, I would like to ask this question, actually two questions. One is, the current narrative is how much have you scored in your exams? Now, how can we change this narrative to what did you build, since we have all this buzz around development and all these things happening? I would like to take a very positive approach about whatever is happening around rather than a cynical one. So how can we change this narrative from how much did you score to what did you build, as in terms of what did you innovate, what did you create, one. Two, how can we build a system or an ecosystem around, or a system which bridges this industries with the education institutions for mentoring purposes? Like, say, a lot of mentoring happens, a lot of internships happens, but there is no proper system to follow. A lot of things happen ad hoc, but how can we build a system wherein one industry mentors 10 students every year? So two questions here. Thank you.
I am very happy, be positive, very good. What I said is, history is not redundant. You always learn something from the history because that gives you your pattern of development. What I'm trying to caution you about is, your gestation periods are very high. We need to cut down on the gestation periods. We lecture a lot, we meet a lot, we create more documents, So charcha pa charcha thing, we keep on going. That you have to reduce the cycle time, and you have to take actions faster. That's the first point of it. So I am cynical personally, but then I'm saying that it need not happen, but then we can reduce the cycle time. That's a different issue. Now, if the question as to how to create an internship, I can only give you my example. I was a Startup Nation CEO in 2014, and Kerala was not in the picture of startups in India. How did we do that? What we did is, we established what we call as innovation, entrepreneurship, development centers in all colleges. We started with engineering colleges because it was a tech entrepreneurship initially, and now it is open for all. And what did we do? We again did not earmark like a question that every person looks after 10 people kind of thing. That's like rationing kind of stuff, will not work. There are two things works here. Is the student triggered to think differently, or is the student allowed a space to look at something of his or her passion? If so, the second part comes to play. Who mentors it, who guides it, and how do you create a facility. So this is how Startup Mission did. Today, if I get it correctly, it's around 400 plus IEDCs across Kerala. Startup Mission is one of the best in India, the best public in Asia, so they're doing extremely well. And December in the Huddle, some of your students can visit it. Huddle is a global startup ecosystem which happens here. Some of you people visit it, you will see that the kind of energy and vibe which happens here. Now one more point I'll say, because I also come from an IT industry in my first part of it, we are a compliance-oriented persons. You take your NBA or NAC or whatever it is all compliance-oriented. Even today, if you go to AICT, they'll measure your room. In an information age, they'll still measure your room for how many feet wide and how many feet long. How does that matter? A student sitting and mostly reading from his phone, not even a laptop. How does that matter? So we are still on a compliance mode. And a compliance-oriented mentality can never be innovative. Because innovation is thinking different. And compliance is sticking on to the straitjacket thing. So that's my answer to this question. I may not be a straight one-to-one answer, but this is what I've done. And this is what I feel. I always said in my organization, because I was a quality and innovation manager, I used to tell them that the CMM level 5 and all those compliance mechanisms is what is making us very service oriented and not product oriented, because we don't innovate. We are all compliance. We are very nice and obedient. We are compliant. You should ask questions. The student should not leave me from here after giving all this gyan. You should not leave me from here without asking a question. Don't accept it because somebody came and told you. Question it. The greatest art that we have forgotten is the art of questioning. And that's only for the students, I'm just saying. At your own risk is a different issue, but then the greatest art is to ask the right set of questions. We need to teach our students to very politely, within the decorum, question everything. Don't accept anything as the given to you. Question everything. Why should it be so? See, one example, and I'll stop my gyan here. We all thought that the rockets were supposed to be sent up and then end up in the salt water, wasted, right? Until one man questioned it, why can't I get it back and reuse it? 21 times he failed, then he caught it. That was history in the making. You know what I'm talking about? Who am I talking about? Yeah, we need such kind of eccentric characters to think. Otherwise, we would still be sending rockets out into water. Just go up and then land up in the salt water. Here one guy said that, I'll send it up, I'll get it back and I'll catch it. That changed the story, right? So we need questions. We don't need answers. Answers are all there. We just need questions. With that, I think, sir.
ഇവിടെ കൂടിയിരിക്കുന്ന കുട്ടികളെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് അല്ലെങ്കിലും എല്ലാവരെയും സംബന്ധിച്ചാണ് ഞാൻ 75 വയസ്സുള്ള ഒരാളാണ്. ഇവിടെ വന്നത് നിങ്ങൾ എന്ത് പഠിക്കുന്നു, എങ്ങനെ പഠിക്കുന്നു എന്നറിയാൻ ഉള്ള ഒരു ജിജ്ഞാസയിലാണ്. അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് എൻ്റെ അറിവ് വെച്ച്, എൻ്റെ ജീവിതാനുഭവങ്ങൾ വെച്ച് ഒരു കോസ്റ്റ് ഇഫക്റ്റീവ്നെസ് എന്നൊരു സംഗതി എല്ലാത്തിലും ഉണ്ട്. നമ്മുടെ സമയം, ആയുസ്, അധ്വാനം ഇതൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. നമ്മൾ ഈ പാഠ്യപദ്ധതിയിൽ ഇത്രയും ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഏതാണ്ട് 10, 23, 25 വയസ്സാകുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് നമ്മൾ എന്തായി തീരുന്നു? അതിൻ്റെ സോഷ്യൽ ഇൻപുട്ട് എത്രയാണ്, അതിൻ്റെ ഔട്ട്പുട്ട് എത്രയാണ്? ഇത് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസ രംഗം, നമ്മുടെ ഗവേഷണ രംഗം, നമ്മുടെ ഉൽപ്പാദന വിതരണ രംഗം, ഇവിടെയൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ പുറകോട്ട് പോകുന്നതിന് കാരണം നമ്മൾ ശാസ്ത്രീയമായിട്ടല്ല ചിന്തിക്കുന്നതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. അങ്ങനെയുള്ളൊരു ചർച്ച വലിയ ചോദ്യമായിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ചോദിക്കേണ്ടതല്ലേ എന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു. കാരണം സമൂഹത്തിലേക്ക് തിരിച്ചു വരണം. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു കുട്ടിക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് മുടക്കുന്ന പണം എത്രയാണ് എന്നുള്ളതിൻ്റെ ഒരു കണക്ക് വേണം. നമ്മൾ ഞാനതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് ചോദിച്ചത്, ഒരു കുട്ടിയുടെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിന് വേണ്ടി വരുന്ന പണം അതൊരു ബാങ്ക് ലോണായിട്ട് കണക്കാക്കിയിട്ട്, നോഷണൽ ലോണായിട്ട് കണക്കാക്കിയിട്ട് ആ കുട്ടി പഠിച്ചു വരുമ്പോൾ ഒന്നെങ്കിൽ അതിൻ്റെ സൊസൈറ്റിക്ക് ഒരു ഇൻ ടേംസ് ഓഫ് മണിയായിട്ടോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സർവീസായിട്ടോ കൊടുക്കുക. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ കൊടുക്കുന്നില്ല എങ്കിൽ നമുക്കൊരു വേസ്റ്റേജല്ലേ. അപ്പോൾ ആ കാര്യത്തെക്കുറിച്ച് മാനേജ്മെൻറ്റ് വിദഗ്ധരായിട്ടുള്ള സാറ് ഒന്ന് എന്തെങ്കിലും പറയാൻ വിചാരിക്കുന്നു.
I appreciate sir the presence and your active involvement in this meeting, because that's an example for all the students also, because at such a senior age he is still actively attending a seminar and commenting on it. And the questions are two things. One, under a welfare state concept, this cannot be taken as an expense or an investment in terms of return. Angane edukkan pattilla, because even these kids are the ones who make the society. So it is an investment on ourselves. ഇപ്പം ഞാൻ എൻ്റെ പേർത്ത് ചിലവാക്കുന്ന പൈസ നാളെ ഞാൻ എങ്ങനെയാണ് എനിക്ക് റിട്ടേൺ ആയെന്നുള്ള അങ്ങനൊരു മെറ്റീരിയലിസ്റ്റിക് ലൈക്ക് കോസ്റ്റ് ആൻഡ് എഫക്റ്റ് അക്കൗണ്ടിങ് പോലൊരു സാധനത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടായിരിക്കും. Whereas I appreciate your question that on higher education, when there is a lot of subsidization which is required, what are they contributing back? അതിപ്പം നമ്മൾ പറയുന്നത് ഇന്ത്യയിലെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ഇസ്രോ സയൻറ്റിസ്റ്റ് എല്ലാവരും IIMs നിന്ന് വന്നവരല്ല, അത് കോളേജസ് ആണ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അത് നഷ്ടമായി എന്നാണോ? അല്ല. വി സ്റ്റിൽ ലോഡ് the Pichais and others of the world because we take pride on them and they do really bring back. അത് ഇവരൊക്കെ വരുമ്പം ചിലപ്പോൾ മൈക്രോസോഫ്റ്റിൻ്റെ ഒരു യൂണിറ്റ് ഇവിടെ വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ that's all sir expenses spent on him. So it may not go into an accounting level of precision, but on a larger welfare society concept, that is how it will be done. That's what I could try and answer it, but I don't have a direct answer on that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We are running short of time, so I request Mr. Anthony Thomas to be a bit brief, and because the other Mr. Joshi, Dr. Joshi Joseph is already there with us.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Very quiet. Since the time is brief, I'll straight away jump into the topic. I'll be a bit theoretical. My title of the topic is Towards a Globally Competitive Capital City. I'm a student of global business strategy from London Business School. So let me compare Trivandrum and a city I worked with. Thomas Friedman, you'd have heard about him. He's a 3-time Pulitzer Award winner, the best award you can get in journalism. He's written 2 famous books. He's written a lot of books. One of them is called The World is Flat. You agree the world is flat or round? The world is flat. From a point of business, from a point of economics, the world is flat. He also wrote a book called The Lexus and the Olive Tree, which means when you develop globally, when we prosper globally, we should not lose our roots. We call it global and local. So what Raghu, my friend, said and doctor said also is more about Trivandrum retaining its heritage, its roots, and then growing globally. I advise companies on global strategies. Today, if a company starts in Technopark, instantly the company becomes global if it has got a website. About 30 years back when Keltron started, or 40, 50 years we started, it took us 10 years to be a Kerala company, and 15 years to be an Indian company, and almost 30 years to be a global company. So today, any company, anybody sitting here in this room can just open a website and become a global company. So Trivandrum per se can be a base for many global companies. That's the point number 1. Point number 2 is, students of management will know the world's most famous professor of Harvard called Michael Porter. Michael Porter talks about cluster. And he says, only cluster development can develop cities. Fortunately, I worked with, not me, I mean, I'm fortunate, like many others, to work with KPP Nambiar. He was my first boss. And he started Technopark, all of you know that. And that cluster, so KPP Nambiar created that cluster, which is called Technopark, and that cluster could expand more into a much more bigger cluster. Also, if you look at the two persons I always say, KP Nambiar and Vikram Sarabhai, Raghu, I hope you agree. Vikram Sarabhai brought the space industry here. So cluster is one way to develop the city, and I think we could have clusters in many fields, you know. We could have cluster in Ayurveda, we could have cluster in traditional medicine, we could have cluster in Tattagadas also, but all those clusters are possible. Now, since my time is short, what I thought was, what my recommendation for Trivandrum is, we should bring in global companies here. In 1975, when I passed out from this college, the principal asked me to be part of an international research project. We brought 5 economists from Namur University here in this college. They worked here, they did research here, and came out with some excellent economic research in fisheries sector. I think if it could happen in 1975, why can't universities bring in international experts here? So from the point of academics, I think we need to get scholars here from all over the world. You know, I worked in Dubai, and we have around 200 plus nationalities working in Emirates Airlines. I worked for Dubai Metro. I was fortunate to work for Dubai Metro. We said we'll complete a metro in September 9, 1999. The metro project started in 1997. And 2 years, they finished the metro. Why? They brought in some of the best experts in the world to do the metro. And some of those experts also came from Trivandrum. So to build Trivandrum, one more example. Some of the engineers left Keltron and joined Dubai Etisalat. Etisalat is like telecom, Indian telecom. So I asked them, Dubai was backward actually. India was forward, you know. We already had Asianet cable running through, but Dubai did not have. They said they were asked to find out the best technology in the world, and that is optic fiber those days. So anything what Dubai did, 1932, I think Raghu knows, Trivandrum had an airport in 1932, you know that? Dubai never was there. Dubai never had an airport for another 50 years. Now, it has got the biggest airport in the world, the second best airline in the world, all because I'm just coming back to the point that you need to bring in multinational technologies, multinational companies here. You need to bring in foreign capital, foreign people also. When I say foreign people, talent. Without talent, when I was in charge of recruiting people for Dubai Metro, I went around the world picking up the best tunneling engineer, the best in every single field of metro. So when Nambiar started Keltron, he also went around the world, picked up the best technologies, Siemens, Control Bailey. We had about 20 to 25 world-class technologies in Keltron. But later on, we all know the story of Keltron had to go down a bit. So my argument for all those good things which both of them said about Trivandrum, I'm very proud of Trivandrum. I belong to a third generation Trivandrum. My grandfather came here 140 years back. I left Trivandrum because Keltron was not doing well when Nambiar left. But all people like us who left all want to come back and contribute. There's a lot of energy we got, there are a lot of connections we got. As he was saying about Rajesh CEO, we have got very good friends around the world who would come and help Trivandrum, and I'm willing to offer that to Chamber of Commerce also. And as students, my advice to you is to think global. You have to think global. It is not jumping into a flight, going to a studies to UK or Australia, but what you can get through. I spent a lot of my childhood days in British Council Library, where along with me was Chris Gopalakrishnan. We never had classes in the college. University College never had classes. But all of us used to go to libraries and read quite a lot. Unfortunately, the British Library is not there. But today you can read a lot of foreign magazines. Try to interact with friends you have got abroad. Most of your parents, relatives are abroad. So Trivandrum needs talent to come back and develop. So thank you very much. So time is running short. I would like to finish. Any questions you want? I can take a quick question. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for that powerful address. To initiate the next segment, we invite Professor Dr. Gabriel Simon Tuttle to introduce the session on career path.
Good morning again. I'm not taking much time. We are just having a brief session on how you identify a career path, and as was rightly put in by, I think, most of the speakers, how do you identify the hidden potential, the latent potential in each one of you, And how do we take this and relate it to a passion? And again, look at what is around us and connect it to it. So on this, we have with us a very senior scientist who's from the National Institute of Interdisciplinary Studies, NIST in Papanangod. He was earlier, we were together in some of our sessions on identifying career path. We are a bit late, so straight we'll move to his session, and then we'll take some questions, identifying the potential in you, trying to see how you link with the career, keeping in backdrop all that is happening around us. So let us hear from him. Thank you so much, and over to Dr. Joshi.
Thank you, Simon, sir. Let's welcome Dr. Joshi Joseph, Senior Principal Scientist, CSIR, NIIST, Trivandrum, to present Pathways to the Future, Career Guidance for the Young Learners.
Just 1 minute, I will.
Good afternoon.
Just a minute.
Please.
Now, I invite Professor Saji P. Jacob, our Autonomy Director, to present a memento to our esteemed speaker. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. So, thank you very much for the invitation, and let me thank all the organizers for inviting me to this platform. And as you know, I'm coming from a pure science background, and normally I give career guidance to science students. Not that I have anything else with other students, but that is the field I am familiar to. But today, let me go through some of my thoughts regarding building a career and how to utilize or how to change the ways we think about education, employability, and choosing the correct career path. So I'm glad a lot of discussions, really enjoyed the discussions so far happened. I'm really glad to be here. Let me directly go through this. So first let me think about this aspect, education and employability. We like earlier speaker said, we had very good education system from probably very early. We had very good colleges, universities, and sir was mentioning that we go to classes and then go to lab and then come back. But if you think back, that's the same thing we are doing now also. Sir, when sir was saying that, that's the same, exact same thing, even after FY UGP started, the college students are doing. They're going to class, they're going to a lab, do some, probably devised in 1970s, the experiments, and come back and happy. And they are very happy about the grades they are getting. And I can come back to the science education in this state, how it is going down, and the reason for that. Okay. So my question to you is, how do you define employability? Education is one thing. Education we are familiar with. I mean, at least the form we are dealing now. But employability, is it just having a job? What do you think? After the course, I'm getting a job, whatever the job is. Okay? You can think about this nomenclature of professional colleges and other colleges. Like the other colleges are not leading to any profession. Of course, there is a reason for that nomenclature, but still. So this is where the first thought process I want to start. How we ensure employability of our students. Okay? So, these are the thoughts I have on employability, being hired, or having a higher chance of being hired. So you are in a class, you are probably social science or any BCom or any class. Think about your class. How many of you are going to get hired by a globally competitive institution based on your merits, your education? You can think about it. And then not only having a job, that is the compliance part sir was mentioning, I was really thinking about it. NAC accreditation, we say that, okay, 25 out of 25 students got placement. Where they are placed? They are all having a job, okay? And then ensuring better wages and job quality. Then in the job, the ability to adapt, change roles, okay? Or having a sustainable career. See, here also I have our thought about sustainable career is having a permanent job. That is another thing. I got a job and I can enjoy the perks for another 30 years until I retire. That's how we see a job. But that is not long-term career sustainability. That is how you are going to transform yourself, your skill sets into better person or better job or better prospects tomorrow. And another aspect is being work ready. This is the thing I am going to emphasize more on the coming slides. Are you beyond your degree? Are you equipped? Do you have the correct technical soft skills, job search skills, adaptability? So, this one, I will just quickly go through it. This, 2018, this was in the news because Narayana Murthy sir has said that. He was talking about, not about every young person in this country. He was talking about engineers, very specifically, mostly computer science graduates he was addressing. Because he is looking for engineers who can employ, he can employ in his company. So he was mentioning that there is 15 lakhs engineers getting produced in this country, but the gap, the skill gap is so much, the employability, they are not, most of them are not employable. You can think about it later, but I will quickly go through it. He was giving 3 points. One is the skill gap. Nobody discussed that after that, okay? And then the lack of practical knowledge. I can tell you this, I can give a class on this lack of practical knowledge for the students. See, you are doing BCom. How many of you can do taxes by yourself or even attempted? You may be studying a lot in your curriculum, yeah? But have you done that? See, this is where the critical practical knowledge is lacking. And how it is going to help? For Narayana Murthy sir, if he is employing somebody in his company, he need to train 1 year, 2 years to make them employable. Of course, training is needed. For any company, they need to train their people. But training from the basics that is not good, And then what happens? After this 1 year, 2 year training, they will go to another company. So that is exactly what was or what is happening even now. So the skill gap is a big problem for the company. That is why he emphasized on that. And then third point is blame on the system. It is all because of our raw education system. We are just mugging up things and then getting marks, grades, good grades. Okay? Of course, that propagated. Everybody was talking about the blame on the education system. But nobody talked about how to correct that, how we can change that. Okay, I have very little time, so I'll quickly go through. But this one, this is a follow-up study they made, just to see how much is correct. And this is a very specific group, IT graduates, and their coding ability, they just tested. Of course, you are expected to code after computer science, especially in IT fields. And you can see that in India, probably around 10% of the people are good for that. Yeah, can you imagine if you are a MBBS person and then 10% of the graduates are good for treating people? Can you accept that? That's the problem, okay? So I'm not taking much time on this, you can think about it. So you can think, what exactly we can do or what matters, okay? There are different levels you can think about. In the university level, this is a great institution. Institution level, you can think about how to change your course design or how to choose the courses, how to devise your programs. This is very important for a institution to create excellent graduates who are employable. This is a very important thing. You need to start with your course design, okay? And then teaching quality. If you compromise on the quality of your faculty, you're done, okay? So this is another important aspect. And then only we can talk about quality. Your mentors or teachers are not qualified or not progressive enough to renew their skill set, the institution is done. That is what I want to say. And then, third point, you see extracurricular club. I will come back to this, how it is important, okay? And then employment, all these are ecosystem building, like in the university level. And then coming to students. For students, employability, one thing is very, very important. That is their grades. Of course, the first picking probably may be happening based on grades, okay? But how this grade is awarded need to be changed by a better course design, better curricula, okay? I will come back to that. And then internship, how is it important? Again, we'll see that. And then the aspect targeted skill training. This also touched upon by previous speakers, and there are several things. My example may be mostly on IT in this one. But you can think about, you are studying for a course. What is the skill set you want or your course want? How do you understand? That should be integrated to the course design. And you should know the objective of your course. After this course, what am I expected to do? Or what skill sets I should be having? And where or what type of internships I should be taking. Okay? And then the result is, if you have a higher education built with the required like skill training, internships, your employment prospects are very good, okay, in that way. Anyway, and then the last point I put is certifications. Obviously, in IT field and all, certifications matters a lot. That gives you a lift because you are up to date with the certain certifications, okay? I'll come back to it. So this is like a huge slide, you see, lot of things about employability. And you see, the knowledge, your knowledge level is, or your problem solving skills coming with education is only a small part. There are several other skills you need to master, okay? I'm not going to give a lecture on each of these topics, but you can get this, probably these slides, okay? And you think each of these points, most of them are soft skills. How do you develop it? When you are running between classes and labs, or how do you develop this? Okay? So this question should be asked and answered by those who are revising your curriculum, devising your courses. Okay? Sometimes I feel like our syllabus revisions are, not to blame anyone, but university level syllabus revisions are like quite funny. Because there will be a committee, they will be checking what was taught last year or several years, and then add content to that. They are trying to modernize the syllabus by adding more content, which is kind of contemporary. And nobody is like willing to remove anything from the syllabus. They're scared because if something is, of course, I don't want to go there because of the time limitations, but of course, your syllabus need to be revised based on what you want. The employability is the first criteria you should be worried about. Okay? So, I will give you 2-3 slides on an example. Why have you thought about it? Why some institutions are good? We have several good institutions. IITs, IISc, or IIMs, AIMS. Any sector you take, we have very excellent institutes. What is the difference between a normal college or a institute with this high ranked institutes? Thought about it? Okay. So this I will give you a glimpse on the IIM model. This is not a complete picture or anything. I just took it off internet, how IIMs are keeping their excellence. You can see, first point is pedagogy and faculty. What is pedagogy and faculty? How they design their courses and how they hire their faculty, what they do. That's the first thing. As I mentioned, this is most important thing. If you fail here, all the down things gone. And then facilities. Even if you have facilities, your first part is not good. Not good. Okay? And then training. The training they are giving to the students, to their faculty. Okay? And then placement opportunities. Global rankings. Admission criteria. You see this? This is cyclical, okay? Again, with the grading. Any grading is kind of cyclical. Because if you get good students, your students will get good grades. Your employability enhances. Of course, with the right, the first 3 remains good. You have good courses, facilities and training. Then the quality of students increase every year. Because your placement opportunities increase, your global ranking increase, and then competition for admission also increase. Okay? So, how to ensure this in an institution level? That is very, very important when you think about a model to choose. Okay? And I will skip this, but you can see that, how they established. Okay? And then the new 21 IIMs are there. And the newer IIMs are, every year they are getting better and better because of this cyclic thing. Okay? And you can see how they design their courses. I talked with many students who are studying in IIMs. They are all excited about their curricula. And they are more excited about the last thing. 50 plus student clubs. You can go to the IIM, probably Ahmedabad or some website. See those clubs, what are they? And how they are enhancing the skill sets of students. Not just politics. For us only, in Kerala, if you say, I'm not against politics or anything, but the only skill sets we are getting is in politics. How many, you check this list of clubs they have and compare it with a college, with your college also. How many, these clubs are managed by students, and every club is enhancing their skill sets, okay? And then coming to the pedagogy, it starts with the concept videos, live lectures, role plays, okay? Role plays. See, the live lectures, concept videos, we are familiar. But other things, experimental exercise, case discussions, simulations, group projects. Why can't we do this? These are difficult to do it. If I ask my wife, who is a college teacher, she will say that we don't get time to even finish the syllabus, then when we will have group discussions. So that is a part. That's a problem. Why you have to study everything in the syllabus from the mouth of a teacher? Teacher has expertise, experience, but why you need a teacher in these days to study everything? And teachers are also worried because if that concept propagates, they will lose their job. That is their another problem. They can become better persons, better skilled persons who can facilitate better education. And we are worried about this complaints to this 16-hour work, 16-hour teaching load. That is a problem. I mean, this need to be, you can think about it. I am skipping that because we don't have much time. Okay? And then I will start another thought here. Okay, we talked about skill sets. We saw the beyond degree what is that we want. Okay? Opportunities. I initially thought, normally for the science students, I give this, okay, these are the institutes available, these are the fellowships available, these are the opportunities to go abroad. And realizing after 3-4 sessions like that, I thought, why am I wasting my time like that? Because these informations are available to any student via normal Google search. Okay, that is why I am not giving you what are the opportunities available for a social science graduate in this country. That is not the purpose of this. But I just want to touch upon two things. One, from an educational institution part, what is the right model we need to follow? We should follow the classroom, lab, and then exam model, or more involved model, okay? So this is, I just summarized the things into one slide. It is, academic learning is very important. You need your basics, you need your fundamentals, plus skills training is very, very important. And the last part, industry exposure, is also important, okay? So like sir was mentioning, involvement of industries, getting internships. I was telling some of my friends in this Trivandrum colleges about FIUGP internship programs. Then they said they have 14 days, at least 14 days of internship they have to do. Yeah, I asked when. They said there is no time given for internship, they have to do. What is this? Magic? You are supposed to be in the class full semester and then you have to do internships. Why can't, if you are an autonomous college, why can't you put 2 weeks for internship in that 6 weeks or whatever this thing? Why can't the students give that time? So that is the kind of thing we have to incorporate in our course design, curriculum design. You should not tell students, okay, now I'm going to have a skill development program for FIUGP. The only window I have is December last week. Why? December first week I cannot put because most of them will be on vacation mode. And I thought, okay, I will start around 29, 30, 31, like that. Okay? So I only get 5 days. I need 14 days, at least 2 weeks. Okay? So I called most of the colleges, I asked whether you have a specific period for internships, specific period. Not that I want to do internship for them. I was thinking, if the students get an exposure, their way of, the way they think, the way they study will be different. I have experienced it. Every year I train at least 15 MSc students in my lab. They think differently after their lab exposure. You also, if you are a BCom student, first year when you get 2 months vacation, you go and work with the finance firm. Don't expect anything. You just follow what they are doing. And come back second year, your thinking, your outlook about education will change. Okay? So that is a model we can follow. And then it won't just evolve. You need to build. How you build this ecosystem? Quickly go through. This is self-sustainable. It should be self-sustainable. The students need to be benefited. Students need to be having not just grades, employable skills, internships, job pathways. And coming to institutions, they will become hubs of higher learning and placement and everything. Institute will grow with the students. And then if you go to industry also will get benefited. Like sir was mentioning, if Trivandrum need like 100 people in logistic operations, can we supply them? Can they find good talent from here without going global? So that is how industry get benefited, and the city gets overall growth. Okay? So this ecosystem need to be built based on better course design, better faculty, by enhancing the employability of students. You can think about it, okay? And then these are some sustainability indicators. I thought sustainability is a keyword. So you can think about a couple of points I want to talk about in this. See, for example, the academics need to be like sharp and like future ready, okay? That is one thing. For that we need to like leave the 70s concepts and then come to the new concepts, okay? Employability should be enhanced, and this employability, I already talked a lot about it. And then coming to economics, sir was mentioning about the return of investment for the government. I was thinking the other way also. A student is spending a lot of money nowadays. Not everybody is studying government now, up to 12 already. After that, the other way, most of you might have seen this reel also. A young doctor was complaining about 40K salary, and she is not going to practice because 40K is not enough. Many people commented below that, why is she saying 40K is not enough? You should see the whole picture. She spent her 5-6 years spending, I don't know how much now, 1.5 crores around for becoming an MBBS graduate, and come back to the reality that an MBBS doctor is not wanted in this society. He or she is not getting higher salaries. Initial salaries, not initial, I'm not saying they won't get good salaries and all, but most of them end up in jobs like this. For them, 40K is not the return of investment they needed. Okay? It is easy to judge, but you see, you can also think about it. What type of a career, what type of a financial security you need? With 40K, if somebody has to live in Bangalore or Kochi, even in Trivandrum, support a family with that. Okay? You can think about it. And then the inclusiveness, education, sustainability requires all these, and including the environmental factors. Interest of time, I'm skipping that. And then, what changes we need? So this one, I normally take an hour class on the shifting paradigms in education, like how we should change. I'll put it in 2 slides, that one. How our education institutions or our courses should be redefined. Our education should be redefined. The classrooms where the teacher lectures, that has to be stopped. I'm not saying that you should stop all teaching, but it should be modernized with the new methodologies. Okay? And you should design courses, curriculum in a way that it should include all other modern techniques of teaching. Classroom teaching is only one of them, okay? And you can see that here the teachers becomes mentors. They are no longer required to teach you very fundamentals. They can answer your questions, clear your doubts, give you their experience. Beyond that, the courses should give the big picture to the students. This itself is, if you understand the big picture of your education, then you know where you are, what skill sets you need, how you fit in a society, how you are going to be employable. All these things come in this big picture. Okay? So, again, lot of new techniques are there. I don't want to spend time on this, but you can see that the education becomes student-centric, and the learning techniques are active learning techniques. Most of them, that is practiced here, I think. And then flexibility, technology integration, collaborative learning, problem solving emphasis, cultivation of soft skills, lot of new things we need to practice. And it should be integrated to the scheme. Not like give 6 weeks and then you have to do all this out of that 6 weeks. Part of it should be taught in different way. And the syllabus should be customized. That is what I feel. And then there are many techniques. I just don't want to explain all this, but the teaching is changing. Now there are lot of different ways to introduce concepts, teach students, and then make them capable of doing what we want. I mean, our objective. Okay? So, my point is, we need to change the teaching styles. And last 5 minutes, I will talk about student career choices. So how we choose our career. Okay? So, this is first thought I want to give. A career, is it designed or discovered? I mean, I made my slides and then yesterday evening I was thinking, whether we are landing in a career or we are designing a career. Okay? This is very, very interesting question because most of our education system is landing us in a career. Okay? Professional colleges, you land. Okay? I was thinking, I can give you 2 analogies, but one I will tell. One is, I want to buy a house. Okay? I want a house. Okay? I have 2 options. I can buy an already built house. That is built according to somebody else's specifications. And then I have to go and choose the one which my likings matches best. Okay? Forget about the other logistics about getting a house, but I will get a house. And second, I can build a house. I can build a house the way I want. Okay? So this first one is the house I wanted. But unfortunately, I got the second one. Not that second one is bad. But the second one is not the one I wanted. If I made that house, built that house with the same resources, I could have landed here. So this is thought I want. You want to land in a career or you want to make your career. Okay? So these 3 questions you can ask. When to take this decision of a career choice, and what parameters to consider, and who should take this decision. Okay? This is when to take this career decision is when. My answer to that is around +2 degree first year, you should have a decision on your career path. Before that, if you take, it is not an informed decision. Okay? And then your parents may take that decision for you. It's okay, as long as if you are okay with it. But ideally, who should take the decision? You can answer that question. Okay? And then this slide, I don't get time to explain all this slide, but this one slide, this is available online, Disha, it's a career magazine for biotechnology students, I think. You go and check every aspect of this, okay? Starting from evaluate your interest, there is many ways to do that. Now agencies are there to, I'm told, there are agencies, 8th standard, 9th standard kids are given a booklet of questions and then asked a lot of questions, and then they decide, okay, this person is good in this. Okay, good. This person is good. Like that, the filtering and separation done by agencies. But it is good. Look into yourself and evaluate your strengths and interests. Okay? And then second point is network. Network is very important in choosing a career, in building a career, in sustaining a career. Okay? LinkedIn or any networking platforms, your connections are sometimes very useful. Okay? So keeping professional networks, Okay, social media, Facebook connections are also good, but when you are planning your career, okay, and then authentic sources. This is one thing Kerala lacks. Okay, our authentic source is the Santa Monica, this career camp. That's where you get authentic information. Okay, you are going for a course, at least read their prospectus and then check the website, what they are doing, how they are doing. Okay, nowadays it is easy to get the authentic information. Your network is for that. If somebody is telling you that you are going to be admitted in a university in Canada, you have 100 friends in Canada. You at least ask them whether this university is there or not. My cousin went to a university in Canada. Whenever I call him, he's at his residence. Ask, are you not going to university? He said, university is there, but our courses are happening at home. Okay, make informed career choices. And then this next point, plan A, plan B, plan C, that you can think of. And then this is the point my talk is about. Okay, that is value add. Internships, projects, voluntary work, event management, clubs. Okay, and then last but not least, showcase yourself. You should learn to sell yourself to an employer. Okay, that's a part of this soft skills you need. Okay, this is for your thought. You can think of very nice slide, but very difficult thing to attain. Okay, but you go and find this slide from internet and read what it is there. I don't want to explain it all, but I'll give you some few slides. Explore your options. Don't be afraid to fail. Sir was mentioning 21 times fail, 22nd time. Okay? Take the initiative. This I tell my students all the time. Okay? If you want to see, for example, Trivandrum has 8 national institutes, several management institutes, several engineering colleges, if you want to do an internship, you should take initiative. You should ask someone. Okay? You want to do a summer job, nobody will come and give you a summer job at your house. Take initiative. That is one thing. Skill sets, we already discussed. Find a mentor. This is also very good. Okay? You find a very good mentor for you. That need not be your teacher. In these days, it is not difficult. If you find a person doing very good work, you keep contact with him. Polite ways to contact. Your communication should do that also. Nowadays, it's not difficult to do that. If you want somebody in IAC to mentor you or IMA to mentor you, you take initiation. Try to meet them at some conferences or somewhere, or even through emails. Build a connection. Get advisors. Okay? Stay focused. That is my last slide. Okay? And let me remind you, your focus, whatever you are doing, is for the society. That should be there. Okay? If you are employed, think good about the society. Okay? Land in a career, think how you can contribute to the society. Okay? These goals you can discuss. And let me finish my talk with a program we have, Jigyasa. Jigyasa is a program every CSIR lab is having. We bring students, school students, college students to our campus and give different types of exposure programs. Okay? And most of them are free. And a college want to visit our institute, just have to contact Jigyasa, and then we will make arrangements for that. Okay? Anyway, that is our social responsibility. Thank you. I'll take if there is any questions, if I can answer.
thank you to all the speakers of the day for their inspiring words of experience. And my question is, for Trivandrum to truly emerge as a future-ready city, being a faculty from a social science background, I hope our ecosystem must not only produce skilled graduates, but also emotionally resilient individuals. Isn't it necessary to have some collaborations or policies to have Trivandrum to be a city of peace and well-being also, as we are dreaming Trivandrum to be in 2030s? Why can't we dream of Trivandrum to be a city of peace as well? So I just wanted to make it as a point of discussion here, since we are discussing about the emerging ecosystem. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I love Trivandrum, you know. I've been in Trivandrum from 98 onwards with my studies, okay, and I lived 8 years in US, in Atlanta, Georgia, and I came back here, and I like actually Trivandrum. There is not much conflicts in Trivandrum. But to answer this, I see a difference in student patterns. Students actually, their focus is different, and their emotional quotient also is not that great. What we are doing is, we are trying to engage them in different activities and then take help from people, okay? If they need emotional support, we are engaging different ways, like counselors are there and other things are there. Other than that, this crosstalks, I should say, we have started some, like this year and all the 8 institutes were connected and then made a consortium. That is a beginning. This should have been done like 10 years back, okay? But now they have started. Everything, even state is involving every institute in this Trivandrum city, and you will be amazed how much talent is available in Trivandrum, okay? And in issues like solid waste management, our institute is having very good expertise in, and we are trying the level we can, okay? But the problem is not easy to solve. That is another issue, okay? So to answer your question, I don't think Trivandrum is really a troubled place. Okay, it is a land of opportunities, I feel. Okay. Yeah.
I'll just add to what he said. You asked a point about Trivandrum being a peaceful city. As it is peaceful, there's no doubt. But at the same time, we are also listing out the pain points, what we see in other cities. What do you see in Bangalore, the traffic blocks? What do you see in other cities where people are disconnected totally? Because you find time only on a weekend to visit somebody. Trivandrum is a city where you should be able to reach any point within 30 minutes or 40 minutes. You'll never get such an opportunity in any other city. There is one. And what you have to remember is that city has to grow, but we cannot take all the bad qualities or whatever you see in other cities into this city. That is why we said the flyovers which are coming in, like Srigaryam flyover or Perukada flyover, it has to come. Because metro will take time. Traffic blocks have to be away. We have to keep this away. So what he was saying is right. The peaceful city is something which you all also have got a role to play. Okay, not only we can do anything, you also must feel, because the youngsters, when they came and met me and say, we don't have a place to relax in the evening and we want something, we went and spoke to the government. And that's how we got the nightlife at Manamyam Bidi, and that's getting extended to Kannakundu Palace and other places. Now, no, that's why I said. So I want to come to the point. There is 2 issues in the city, which we have taken up. Every day you have a block happening in the Secretariat area. Okay, every day strike, roadblocks, and another place is Raj Bhavan area, Villambalam. These 2 things we have gone to the High Court, telling the High Court that like they have the right to strike, we have the right to walk also. We cannot be stopped and say you deviate and take the road this way, that way. So that case has been filed. What we are telling the government, locate a place for these people to strike. Give them the right to strike. But not at the cost of the shops on the road where people are losing business. And in Villambalam, if you remember, or if you all know well, there are 3-4 important schools there. There's Christ Nagar, Nirmala Bhavan, Holy Angels, and it's a very arterial road taking you to Ponmudi and other areas. So that area is not meant to be conducted a strike. They all do it on the pavement. There's a lot of rulings by the High Court saying that you cannot block or you cannot do your strike blocking the roads. But how many of you all have written in your Facebook? How many of you have written in your comments? You write a lot of things. We also have to react. You keep on reacting, saying that this is not the thing. Then the other thing which I just add to his point about employment and career, I can tell you one thing. You see, first thing, fundamentally, all students must have an attitude. A good attitude is the most important thing. You may have qualifications, you may be great students, but without a good attitude, you're not going to do anything anywhere. That is one thing I have to tell you. If you take attitude, hardworking, education, attitude always carries 100 marks. That is one thing. Then the other thing is, we must be able to do networking. I'm telling the young students very clearly that if your parents say, come, ഒരു കല്യാണത്തിന് പോകാന്ന് പറയും ഞാൻ വരില്ല അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമുക്കൊരു പാല് കാച്ച ഞാൻ വരത്തില്ല എല്ലാം ബോറാണ് ബട്ട് എവറി കല്യാണം എവറി പാല് കാച്ച് ആൻഡ് എവറി ഫ്യൂണറൽ യു മീറ്റ് 2 people ആ ആൾക്കാരെ കാണുമ്പം യു ഗെറ്റ് ആഡഡ് ടു യുവർ ലിസ്റ്റ് യുവർ ടെലിഫോൺ കോൾ ലിസ്റ്റ് ഓർ യുവർ കോൺടാക്ട് ലിസ്റ്റ് ജസ്റ്റ് ഗോസ് അപ്പ് See, I lost all my schoolmates when I came from Malaysia to this place. But I built up all this because of just interacting. So don't be an introvert. You must start talking. Even in the train, what is the harm of talking to the next fellow? And that may be a contact. Maybe in the flight, somebody is sitting next to you. How long can you keep quiet and sit in the side till 2 hours, 3 hours? Well, you should ask him, what are you doing? And what can you do? And if the guy is not interested in talking, stop it. But the guy is willing to strike a conversation, continue. When that deal will come with a telephone number, and later you keep in touch, and he may be the person who can help you. So networking is very important, number one. And the other thing which is very important is attitude. The other things what the speaker spoke just now is something which you have to really work. What I've said in a lot of interview boards, the biggest problem which I find in the students coming for the board, in the interviews, is that nervousness. They get very nervous. കാര്യം നമ്മൾ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചോദിക്കുന്നത് ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ തുടങ്ങും. Then the guy get more nervous. Because the person is coming from Malayalam medium. That guy, he will start holding the button, then he will start becoming, you can see his behavior becoming very nervous. Then the fact is that you be positive. Even if you are Malayalam medium, why are you scared? Okay, sir, I have studied only in Malayalam medium, so my English may not be appropriate. Can I give an answer in Malayalam? Is it okay? Nothing, he's not going to kill you. That's number one. Number two, what you have to remember is when you go for an interview also, what we find from the interview is that language is a major barrier. Because international companies, when they talk to people, they want people who can be conversant in the language they're looking at. Even to get a receptionist for the office, we find it difficult, where people can speak English. So along with your whatever subject you're learning, please do public speaking and try to pick up language if you want to work globally. If you want to work globally and get tied up with global institutions, pick up English. Not difficult at all. It is not a very, very difficult language. You can speak. So start picking up that. Number one. Number two, what he said is another one very important. The biggest challenge we have is that most of the people who come for your interviews are unemployable. You have everything, but unemployable is the biggest problem. Because they are not fitting into the thing. They have everything. They say, sir, I got 9%, 90%, 20%, all this they will talk. And then you ask the student, can you tell me, normally these are questions we ask them, tell me 5 positive things about yourself. He'll think twice. What are the negative qualities you have? Nothing, I'm very perfect. I say, you get up early in the morning. Illa sir, then that's negative, no? So these things will be there. Then you also have a thing that you write, take a paper and put it in a column, write what are your positive qualities and what are your negative qualities. If your negative quality is more, correct it so that you become positive. Your positive qualities are more, you are definitely going to be employable, number one. Number two, what you should do is, what do you intend to be in the next 5 years? In the next 5 years, where will you think you will be? If you want to reach that point, then what you should do? These are things you should do. Thank you.
Actually, I remember my employability, the top was
attitude. And then I had another slide. I removed it yesterday on your career goals, like 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, and all. So I thought that's all. Okay. Anyway, thank you, sir, for.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Joshi, for accepting our invitation and sharing your thoughts on this. So I think with that, we are concluding with this session. But before I hand over to the MC, let me just tell you that some of the takeaways from this session. One is, as Professor Raghujendran rightly said, we are going to have an MOU with TMA and also the Chamber and how we can foster further relationship for our college and definitely for all those who would like to be part of this ecosystem that we are talking about. Trivandrum, there was also a question of well-being and happiness also, which we are actually, I think Loyola already has it in terms of a well-being and happiness center, which is going to get linked with some research on that line. And also we'll be having a couple of sessions on career orientation, taking cue from what was discussed here, and will be delivered within just as we'll look at our schedule and deliver that to you also. So these are the things in the offing. So let us hope that we will still keep going in a very positive note. Take advantage of how Thiruvananthapuram is growing and how we can grow along with that. Be positive and try to take advantage of all that has been said, shared, talked, discussed, and put across here. So thank you so much, and over to you.
Thank you, sir, for those valuable insights. I invite Mr. Anthony Thomas, President of Alumni Association of Loyola College of Social Science, to present a memento to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Joshi Joseph. Thank you, sir. To conclude this inspiring event, we invite Professor Saji P. Jacob, Autonomy Director, Loyola College of Social Sciences, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I know that all of you must be feeling very hungry, and showing gratitude to a hungry person means, like allowing you to go and have your lunch at the earliest. But as this is a formal, conference, which we have conducted, I believe, it's also our responsibility and duty to express our, gratitude to each one of the guests present here. May I begin with Professor Bichukuma, who the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies, who inaugurated our half-day conference on blending academia to the emerging ecosystem. He was kind enough to, spare his time and, provide us with a very valuable message around, the futuristic perspective on Trivandrum. On behalf of everyone present here, I extend my sincere gratitude to Professor A. Bijukumar. Father Sabu P. Thomas, our principal, is the president of the function, and he was here throughout the session, and I extend a word of gratitude to you, Father. Mr. S.N. Raghujendran Nair, President of Trivandrum Chamber of Commerce and Industry, you have been, very enthusiastically, providing us with all the insights, both, both sides of the coin, like the pessimistic part as well as the optimistic, the future. We are very much grateful to you for your guidance as well as your magnanimity to, in extending your willingness to enter into an MOU with Loyola College of Social Sciences. Thank you so much, sir. Again, Dr. Jayasankar Prasad, the Director of Center for Management in Development, CMD, is not with us, but still he has been very effective in communicating, maybe on a self-critical note, like he was citing upon where we went wrong and where we are falling short of the, the requirement. But at the same time, he was showing us the way out, like to be more, futuristic in our plans and so on. In his absence, I extend a word of gratitude to him as well. Dr. Joshi Joseph, Senior Principal Scientist, CSIR NIST, Trivandrum. He was truly, attending to the, the topic of, the topic that is very much required for our student community here. Sir, I think you gave us a lot of insights, lot of, opening, lot of thoughts, opening up the minds of our children here. We are very much grateful to you, sir. Thank you. The persons behind coordinating this event, of course, Professor Gabriel Simon Dattil, our academic director, and Dr. Smita, Dr. Shalaba, Ms. Shalaba, and all other colleagues, who've been contributing through their, valuable support and in organizing the entire event. I extend a word of gratitude to you all. Thank you. The student community, especially, those who were part of the organizing team, have done an outstanding job. I salute to the two of the MCs here, as well as the volunteers over there. Word of gratitude to all of you. Last but not least, the guests who have come to attend these sessions. I think I see several faces who are not regular here. Obviously, people who have visited on our request, on our invitation. We are very much grateful to you, and we will look forward to seeing you again in the campus. I hope that you will take away some good memories of your participation today for this conference. Thank you, one and all. And last but not least, my colleagues and dear students from FIUGP as well as from PG sections, I extend my sincere gratitude to all of you. Thank you. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you everyone for being with us today and making this event truly meaningful. Lunch has been arranged for the registered participants from outside at the LES hall, and you can collect your certificates from the outside counter. Also, for those who wish to get the presentation slides, you may refer it to in the college YouTube channel.
We wish you all a wonderful afternoon ahead. Thank you.